This podcast is a member of the Place to Be Nation family. Visit us at placetobenation.com, the only place to be in your pop culture world.
You are listening to a special edition Hard-Traveling Fanboys Comic Book Theater, Watchmen. Part 2.
Comic Book Theater, 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 Comic Book Theater.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Well, hopefully there are no boys and girls listening to this.
Yeah,
right
that would be unwise from a parental standpoint to allow children to listen to what you're about to hear.
That's right, because we are here to bring you a very special giant-size edition of the Hard-Traveling Fanboys. I am Greg Phillips. With me is Nick Duke. And we are about to be joined by a cavalcade of Place to Be Nation personalities.
Might it be a veritable heaven?
I think that would be fair to say, yes. Of Place to Be Nation personalities. That means we are drawing individuals who are experts in the fields of pro wrestling, comic books, music, the arts, and whatever it is that we do. And even some celebrities. Mm-hmm. Now this, for those of you who joined us several months ago for our first installment of Place to Be Nation Comic Book Theater, you may have heard the first part of our adaptation of the classic Alan Moore and Dave Gibbons Watchmen. What we consider to be, Nick, I think, perhaps the greatest comic book of all time.
I think there's a strong argument to be made there, and I think there's a strong argument to be made that putting our own special spin on it has only enhanced that source material to this point.
Indeed. So if you haven't listened to that, it's imperative that you go to our archives at placetobenation.com, Podbean, iTunes, whatever listening device you prefer, iPhone, tablet, whatever you have, and listen to part 1 of Comic Book Theater and our Watchmen adaptation, because what we are about to bring to you is part 2.
Part 2, indeed. So should we get going, Greg?
I think we should. Now, I should warn everyone out there will be some liberties taken with the source material, but we're pretty confident that once you get into this, you will find that it not only accurately represents the spirit of the original work, but indeed improves upon it.
I couldn't agree more. And with all that being said, I guess we got to go ahead and jump right back into our story. You may remember from many months ago that when last we left you, Dr. Manhattan had just taken his leave of the Earth and had teleported away. And here, as Chapter 4 of our story opens, we find him on the red sands of the planet Mars.
Oh, look, there's a photograph in my hand. It's nice. It's a photograph of a man and a woman. They look kind of happy. Of course, photographs can be deceiving about those types of things, but I'm going to assume they're probably doing all right. Oh, look, they got to be happy. They're in an amusement park, and somehow I know that it's 1959, although it's not labeled anywhere. I'm just guessing. In about 12 seconds' time, I'm going to drop this photograph into the sand at my feet. Now, how did I know that? Oh, that's how I'll be doing things here. I'm going to be moving back and forth in time. That ought to be fun. Be kind of nice. I'm glad you're here with me on this little journey. You might find yourself enjoying it too. It's just laying there, 12 seconds in the future. 10 seconds now, if you wanted to keep track of that kind of thing. I don't think it really matters much, but some pretentious people like to know whenever it's the difference between 2 and 10. But anyway, Now the photograph is in my hand again. Huh. I like this. I found it at this derelict bar in Gila Flats test base about 27 hours ago. I say derelict, but it's kind of nice in its own charming, befuddled, kind of disgusting, worn down kind of way. They got a pretty low health rate, so some people probably wouldn't want to eat there. But I like it okay. It's still there, 27 hours in the past, in its frame, a darkened bar. I'm still there looking at it. This is getting a little strange. I don't understand what's happening, but I'm just kind of rolling with it. But you gotta roll with these things sometimes, because otherwise they'll just roll right over you. Then this woman takes a piece of popcorn between her thumb and her forefinger. Oh, I wonder what she's gonna do with that. The Ferris wheel pauses. That's a weird thing for it to do, but I suppose it can do that. It's been 7 seconds. Doesn't it feel that longer? Feels like 7 years. Now, it's October 1985. Huh. And I'm on Mars. Oh. Isn't it nice and pretty and red? The sand feels nice and squinchy between my toes. And now I'm back in July 1959. In New Jersey. Oh, that's kind of depressing. It's the Palisades Amusement Park. That's a little better. 4 seconds. 3. I'm tired of looking at this photograph now, but I mean, it's two people who aren't doing anything but standing there looking like they're all happy. Kind of feel like I hate them now. So I'm going to throw down and let the picture fall to my feet. Then I'm going to look up at the stars. They're always so pretty. They make me feel like life could happen anywhere. And that I could just go anywhere and be anybody I want to be. Speaking of things being kind of squinchy between things, I should probably stop letting my dick drag on like that. It's probably not good for it. I'll shrink it up a little. Not too much, though. I kind of like being able to swing it back and forth like an elephant trunk. You know, it's got me thinking, all we ever see of the stars are their photographs, because it takes so long for that light to get down here. I'm 227 million kilometers from the sun. I don't really know why I measured it in kilometers for you like that. It's not like Jimmy Carter was a very good president, got us on the metric system or anything. People kind of forget about him, but that's alright. In this reality, he was never president in the first place. Richard Nixon been president for a long time, and, well, that nose could only be measured in miles. It makes us all feel pretty good about ourselves, honestly. And the light from these stars is already 10 minutes old. It's not going to reach Pluto for another 2 hours. I wonder what I could do in 2 hours. Probably anything but go on in this long-ass monologue that pretty much everybody's bored listening to by now. But I'm just going to keep going, observing these little meteorites from a glass balcony, thinking about my father. Don't really know why. It's kind of a weird thing to pop in the head. Certain things have gotten smaller now. But in any case, I keep flipping back to the photo falling out of my hands. You know, for an omnipotent being, you'd think I'd be able to hold on to things a little better. I might have to work on that. Everybody's got flaws, though. So we all have to keep working, getting better. That's what I'm doing for my life. I hope it's something productive other than, you know, sitting there listening to me go on and on. But then Halley's Comet tumbles through the solar system on a 76-year ellipse. Who cares? It's just a big ball of ice. I kind of look at it every once in a while thinking, I wonder what it'd be like to be a big ball of ice. Floating around in space saying, hey, big ball of ice, I'm pretty. Watch me go. My father kind of admired the sky for its precision. He repaired watches. I don't know what that has to do with anything, but I thought I'd mention it. Now I'm back in 1945. This is already starting to make me a little dizzy. It's in a Brooklyn kitchen. I'm fascinated by an arrangement of cogs and black velvet. I'm 16 years old. And yes, it was that big by then. It's 1985 again. God damn, it's getting a little odd doing this, isn't it? I'm back on Mars. I'm 6 years old. But you'd never know it from the giant trunk swinging between my knees. This photograph is still sitting at my feet. Sure wish it'd just blow away now. But there's very little on Mars right now. I might have to fix that. And I'm watching all these stars now, all complex trajectories running through space and through time, and it's all pretty like. Makes me feel pretty good. I think more people would be happy with their lives if they just looked up, watched the stars for a little while, and not be listening to what people's hands are doing to them down here. We'd all be happier. I'm trying to give a name to the force that set them in motion, but I figure Earl sounds good to me. It's August 7th, 1945. It's nice and hot and humid out here in Brooklyn, and the fire escape door's been left open.
God dang it, Johnny, where are you?
In here, practicing on your old pocket watch before it's time for school, and I'm totally not reading Beefy magazine.
Oh, forget pocket watches. Have you seen the news?
What's the news?
The news. The news.
I'm confused.
They dropped a propane bomb on Japan. Whole city's gone. There's no time to repair watches. This changes everything. There won't be no more bombs, no more future. Is my own kid gonna follow me into a dumb trade? God, that boy ain't right.
Daddy, what are you doing?
I'm doing what's best for you. This whole propane science. This world. This is what the world needs. No more watches.
Hey, give me that back and stop pulling on your pants.
Look. Professor Einstein says that time is different from one place to another. I mean, if time isn't even a thing, if time does not exist, what do we even need a watch for, huh?
Wait, no, don't.
Propane is a thing of the past. My son must have a future.
Daddy, no. 40 years ago, the cogs are raining on Brooklyn. Kind of like the snow petals in Washington, D.C. During the Rose Parade. It's so nice. 115 minutes into the future, I see meteorites hailing down through the rarefied atmosphere of Mars. It's nice and pretty out here. I think more people would like it if they just gave it a chance. Then, it's 1948, and I'm arriving at Princeton University. Oh, here we go. It's 1958, and I'm graduating with a PhD in atomic physics. All these cogs keep falling into place, and here Daddy said I wouldn't get nothing out of no watch. It's May 12th, 1959. That was a good time. Good year. All the nice flowers out and blooming. It's nice and spring day. It's my first day at Gilla Flats. Professor Glass is shaking my hand, asking Wally Weaver to show me around. He was nice, I guess. The scent of his Turkish cigarettes is thick in this cramped office. It's not so good, but I'm here anyway. I'm just 30 years old.
So you're this new guy from Princeton. We heard about you, huh? Say, wasn't Einstein at Princeton?
Obviously not while I was, but I heard him lecture once, though.
Raymond! Gee, that must have been something, you know? I heard he argued with his wife. Crazy, huh? A guy like that? A genius? Even he couldn't figure out women.
Well, like most people, he's just human. So what's this place?
This is just what they're doing in this intrinsic fields of experiments. It's like, what if there's some field holding stuff together, apart from gravity? Beats the hell out of me. But I'm only an assistant.
Have you ever thought about getting that checked out? Instead of bouncing back and forth? Sounds like you may need some help. But anyway, what's this?
This is our time-lock test fault. So that when we're trying to separate objects from the intrinsic fields, no radiation gets out. We got a lot of old safety features like that here. But hey, listen, nobody at Gilla gives a damn about all this junk. Come on, I'll show you where this real heavy-duty thinking gets done around here. We call it the bestiary, not to be confused with bestiality. It's right through here.
I sure was glad that he explained that, because I was beginning to associate this place with something far worse. But Wally steers me from the Arizona sunlight to this crowded bar. Lots of creamy hamstrings in here. There's a sudden sensation of deja vu. Feel like I've been here before. But then again, the bars I frequent all do seem to look alike after a while. Except that it was deserted then. Derelict. There was a starlight shining down upon its rotted floorboards through the collapsed ceiling. The illusion vanishes almost before it is registered, and it's May 12th, 1959 again. I do love those flowers. But anyway, Wiley is introducing me to someone. I don't remember her name. It's probably not that important.
This is my brother Raymond. I mean, J.D. Slater. Meet John Osterman. John's from Princeton.
Ooh, the new guy. You must be replacing Hank Meadows, right?
Maybe. I think so.
I guess so. Hank died last fall. Some kind of tumor. An ugly one with teeth. Or maybe those are bumps. It was ugly. There's this picture behind the bar there. The guy with glasses. You know, you're pretty young for a research scientist.
Well, you're kind of old for an assistant. But, well, my dad sort of pushed me into it. That happens to me a lot. Other people seem to make all my moves for me.
I'll bet. Are you old enough to have a drink?
So, she buys me a beer. The first time a woman has ever done that for me. It feels kind of rare, kind of weird, kind of wrong. And she passes me this cold, perspiring glass I fingers touch. I feel a little icky. Not real sure I'd like that. But, I don't know how I got roped into it, but in 1963, we're making love for the first time after an argument. Tenderness in direct proportion to its violence. I guess that's how I was coping. And then in 1966, she's packing, tearful, careless with anger, and the photograph lies in the sand at my feet. Then it's July 1959. I'm getting real tired of this. I'm returning to New Jersey on vacation, visiting old university friends. Janie shares the trip from Arizona. Again, her mother lives in Jersey, but who cares? She calls from the station, but nobody answers. We visit the amusement park, killing time until her mother returns.
Hey, young lovers, hold it.
I'm sorry, sir, but we are not. No.
Oh, there, that's just beautiful. A beautiful picture of you two character, particularly of the lady. Much more beautiful than that bastard Dick Grayson.
He gives us an address where we can pick up 75-cent prints. I feel like that's a little expensive, but I guess everybody's got to make a living. And we walk off towards the Tilt-A-Whirl, laughing at his mistake. By the shooting gallery, Janie's watch band snaps. I was like, oh no, it was such a pretty watch. Before I can pick it up, a fat man steps on it. I tell him he should lose some weight, but he just kind of scoffs at me and says he's going to go get another hot dog. Put some main event mustard on it, whatever the fuck that means. I tell her I can fix it. Her mother still isn't answering. We decide to call again from my hotel, but we both know what's going to happen. She's going to whine and bitch. I'm just going to roll my eyes and wish that I could go back to that bar with all those lovely men walking around in costumes. But as tends to be the case whenever I'm telling a story, events mesh together with soft precisions. We reach the hotel. She calls again. Mother still isn't home. Are you as bored as me? She asks if I can really fix her watch. We sit together on the edge of the bed, examining it. I tell her it'd look better on me, but she didn't seem to take that real well. And here it is, 1959. A pulse flutters in her belly beneath my cheek. Well, that's just disconcerting. It's 1966. Suitcase won't shut and she's crying again. 1985. In 100 minutes, the meteorite shower begins. It's going to be pretty. That's going to distract me long enough, I think. And then I'm back in 1959 in August. God damn it. We've been back from Jersey a month. In my future, the accident is waiting for me, and all I can think is thank God.
John, did you fix my watch? It's 1959. Women can't fix things. I really need you to fix my watch.
Yes. Matter of fact, I did. It's right here. It's nice and pretty. Now will you please shut the fuck up and go away?
What's the matter?
Oh, nothing. I'm just getting tired of you. I left it in my lab coat when we were resetting the IF chamber this morning. Why don't you wait right here and, I don't care, do anything else. I crossed the square to the intrinsic field center, and I know what's about to happen. Please, God, let this kill me. My coat's inside the test chamber. I can see it through the foot-thick window. Action is almost upon me now, and I just can't wait. The others returned from lunch, and I asked them to let me out. Laughing at my own stupidity, I don't really want them to let me out. Nobody else is laughing, and Dr. Glass is turning white. He explains the door is locked automatically while the generators warm up from this afternoon's experiment, removing the intrinsic field from the concrete block 15. I ask him what happened to the other 14. He tells me, and I'm just sweaty with anticipation.
I'd be more worried about coyotes if I were you. I'm sorry, Dr. Osterman. Well, the program's locked in and we can't override the time lock. It's a safety feature.
Oh, God, let me out. Let me out of here.
Janie, actually, please go. I don't really need you here at all.
Oh, God, don't ask me. Oh, but what if it looks cool? No. Oh, but it's so interesting. No, I gotta go. I really gotta go. I just can't. Can I please go?
That's all right. I understand. I'm kind of glad to see her go anyway. The door slams behind her. I look at Dr. Glass, but he looks away. He just can't help himself but mask his feelings. I know how he looks at me when I'm not looking around. I can hear the shield sliding back from the particle cannons. There's something in my pocket. Or was it? Feeling around. Yeah, that's nice. I take it out to examine and not as impressive and blue as it's going to be later. But the air grows too warm. It's too quick. I want very much I don't really care for a beautiful woman to touch me, but I think I'd like a man to touch me. Hold this glass of very cold beer. All the items in the test chamber are screaming at once. The light turns blue. It's taking me to pieces. And all I can think is I'm never going to have to touch that bitch again. It's September. Token funeral service is being held. I feel a little insulted by that. There's nothing to bury. Of course not. But here we are in October. Janie places our Jersey snapshot behind the glass in the bestiary. Really not sure Wally wasn't doing things with poor kitties back there one day. But it's the only photograph of me anyone has. And that's a shame because I always thought I was photogenic. And then, it's November.
Say, did you read about this here communist guy who's running Cuba? This Castro or whatever the fuck his name is?
Oh, no, man. I saw a picture. Jesus H. Christ, what's wrong with these guys these days? That beard, man. I mean, I remember when I Caroline started sticking up pictures of the family. Punk Presley. I thought I'd just about seen it all.
And just then, behind these two men in front of urinals, a skeletal, loosely humanoid form appears, causing the one bat guy in the urinal to shake even more than he already was.
It's November 10th now. There's a circulatory system walking through the kitchen. Ew. Then it's November 14th. A partially muscled skeleton stands by the perimeter fence and screams for 30 seconds before vanishing. Oh, God. Oh, no. Really, it's just a question of reassembling the components in the correct sequence, but it's icky to look at. It really should cover itself. That's not appropriate. And now it's November 22nd.
You know, I'm thinking of quitting this place. Something's halting us.
Wally, please. I don't even want to hear about it.
Gee, I'm sorry, Raymond. I mean, whatever your name is. But hey, can you hear that? That whistling? Is it my ears or what?
No, I can hear it. Oh, hey, my arm. Damn, my arms are hairy. Hairs are standing up.
Don't panic! Nobody panic! Just follow the light of my lantern.
Oh my God, what's happening? The cutlery, it's sparking.
Oh, holy God. Will you look at that? I got a boner.
And with a flash, in the middle of this cafeteria, has appeared the magnificent form of Dr. Manhattan, 18-inch blue penis swinging wildly between his legs as he flutters in the wind.
Oh, hey.
John?
Their bleached faces stare up at me, pale and insubstantial in the sudden flare of ultraviolet. It's nice and pretty, though. It's all purple and red and blue, and I'm not really sure what I'm looking at. It's just nice. I feel relaxed. But there's a sunburn in November. It's October 1985. I'm basking in the 2-million-year-old light of Andromeda. You know, if more people could see this, I think the world would be a better place. And maybe they'd make some better music. Maybe they'd remember how good the Beatles were, and maybe we could get rid of these flocks of seagulls. I can see the supernova that Ernest Hartwig discovered in 1885. It was a century ago. A lot happens in 100 years, but more people know about that if they just stay in school. It scintillates, a wink intended for the trilobites, all long dead. Supernovas are where gold forms. The only place where gold forms. Gold comes from supernovas. Now, you've learned something today, and that should be nice. It should make you feel good knowing new things. Now, let's go back to Christmas 1959 because, well, why not?
Do you like it? I mean, that is the sort of thing you like now that you're, you know...
Blue and very large and well endowed. Yes, I like it very much. Its atomic structure is perfect grid. It's like a checkerboard. You ever played checkers? No, of course not. That's a little too complicated for you. It's Janie. What's up? You seem like maybe you're cold. I could raise the temperature if that would make you feel better.
No, I'm not cold. I'm scared.
Oh, of me and this? Oh, you shouldn't be worried about that. I can change the size of everything.
No. Yes. God, look, I'm just scared of everything because it feels weird. Like, I'm not supposed to notice that 18 inches. Like, that's a thing. It's as if everything's changed. Not just you, everything, but especially that. I mean, I don't know what you are, or how that's even possible. I mean, just... Can anyone even explain that? I mean, that? Really? That? You were disintegrated. You put yourself back together, and now there's this thing just swinging there, looking me straight in the face, and I don't know if I'm supposed to love it, or hate it, or what's... I honestly don't even know how to react to it. And they say you're God now. Does that mean God has 18 inches? What does this mean? Oh, I don't even know.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I don't really think there is a God, Janie. If there was, I'm probably not anything like him. I imagine that he's a little bit smaller in some areas, particularly in the head and neck area. But I'm still the same person. Nothing's really changed. I'm gonna lie to her now and tell her that I still want her, and that I'll always want her. I only say it because it just seems like something she'd want to hear. And as I lie, I hear her shouting at me in 1963, crying in 1966, and I can feel that things are about to start being this way for me from now on. And now I'm starting to feel like the trade-off of this now 18 inches swinging to my knees, and all the other side effects might not have been worth the price I paid. But that's alright. You live and you learn, and I guess this is why they call them accidents. But my fingers open, and I let the photograph start to fall. Oh, look, it's February 1960, and everything's frozen. I'm starting to accept that I shall never feel cold or warm again, but that's okay. I got a little tired of the itchy sweaters and the corduroy pants. They just didn't fit on me no more because, my penis is too big and I'm all staticky. So it's better that I walk around naked anyway.
Oh, perfect. Just perfect. When we go public next month, every magazine in the world is going to want these pictures. How do you like your costume? Pretty slick, huh?
It's a little gaudy. It doesn't really work for me. But hell, what is this symbol for?
You know, it means like atoms, atomic power, stuff like that.
I'm not really sure that's what that means. I think they just made that up because they thought it kind of cool and clever. But, you know, if I was going to have a symbol, I was going to need something with a little bit more girth and, you know, little cone head at the end, and a couple little balls hanging down there, little short and curly hairs coming off of it.
But that's the only place where your symbol shows. The marketing boys say you need a symbol.
Well, I think I know what I need a little bit better than they do. So if I'm going to have a symbol, it's going to be that I feel like I can have a little respect for.
And with that, we see Dr. Manhattan drawing, a dick on his forehead.
There. It's all nice and big and perfectly represents me.
You know what? I kind of like it. It's got something, you know. It's simple, but it tells me things about that I never knew before. You know, that's pretty good. People are going to remember it. When they see it, they are going to think of Dr. Manhattan and those 18 inches between your legs.
Dr. what? And then they go on to explain to me that the name's been chosen for ominous associations that will rise in America's enemies. And I was thinking, well, if you wanted something to rise, all you had to do was show me a nice shapely man and I'd be all ready to go. But they're trying to make me into something big and gaudy and lethal, and I don't want people to be scared of my penis. I want them to accept it and look at it like a big thing of beauty. But it's all getting a little out of my hands until it gets back into my hands. It's March 1960, and all everybody's doing is holding hands.
Still reeling from this morning's announcement, possibly the most significant event in recent world history. We repeat, the Superman exists, and he's American. According to Pentagon sources, this astonishing individual can control atomic structure itself. My God, we see him here dismantling a rifle without even touching it. And here, demonstrating that a Patton tank poses him no greater difficulty. There has been no response from the Kremlin as of this time, and indeed, how this almost unbelievable development will affect the race wars. I mean, the race in weaponry and space technology has yet to be assimilated. Although photographed late this afternoon at the Gila Flats test base, this superhuman code named Dr. Manhattan has not spoken to the press. Instead, we asked those costumed vigilantes and Tiger Woods, remaining from the 1940s masked hero fad, how they felt.
Yeah, you see? Well, we're very pleased, obviously. Very, very pleased.
Well, you know, they say he walks through walls and stuff, but I'll believe it when I see it.
Ha! You knocked them all dead. I mean, you wear an old double-breasted suit for the photo session, and next thing, everybody's talking about fashion significance. Can you imagine? You've arrived!
Oh, yes, I have. I like to be fashionably late, though, so I feel a little awkward. Sometimes I feel as if I've been here all the time. I'm there now, 1960, saying those words and watching that old TV set. The color is so much better. These black and white sets really hurt my eyes. But now it's June, a charity event with several costume and veteran people attending. Friendly middle-aged men who like to dress up. That's just my thing. I have nothing in common with them other than, creamy hamstrings. Only the youngest, called Ozymandias, seems interesting. Speaking of hamstrings. But it's November now. Fall leaves are coming down. It's so pretty here. I love the orange and the yellows. But the newspapers, they keep calling me a crime fighter. Pentagon says I must fight crime. But I don't feel like doing that. I just want to be all friendly and blue. But I walk into Moloch's underground vice den, and all these exasperated sighs turns into screams of terror, like they never seen a big blue penis before. Wonder what's wrong with these people. The morality of my activities kind of escapes me, but I just keep on swinging. And here it is, September 1961. And John Kennedy is shaking my hand, asking what it's like to be a superhero. I tell him he ought to know he slept with Marilyn Monroe and didn't even come down with so much as a little case of syphilis. That would have been bad. So here we are 2 years later in Dallas, and his head snaps forward, and and then back, and to the left. 2 shots. That was kind of sad. Look, it's May 1962. There's a masked man retiring to open an auto business. That's nice. His real name was Hollis Mason, but I always thought he looked like more of a Stu kind of fella. He's kind of homely after all, and kind of hunched over. Looked like he's a little world-weary, but he was always such a nice man to me. And here we are. We're talking at this little banquet in his honor. It's about 18 months away from Dallas.
You see this? It almost makes me sorry I couldn't quit the business before that big rhino get involved, because you get the rhino involved. He's banging my daughter, and it's just it's a thing, it's just a thing.
Oh, well, why did you choose to retire now? Is it because you're getting a little old and wrinkly and a little saggy around the tits area?
Partly. I mean, but really, it's someone like you. A colored fella like you come around, and you can't do anything. I mean, you got a blue penis dangling around. It just makes us all feel inadequate. And me, all I got is a left hook and a stretching device in my basement, and I make them say discipline, and say discipline, and you make them, you hold them until you say discipline. And if I had the blue penis, then boy, they'd have some discipline. My son, Brett, he had a stroke. I'm better off retiring. I'm gonna write my book. I have 10,000 cassettes in my closet with all these gosh darn recordings that I did, and I'm gonna repair the cars. Cars and stretching fellas. I take a fella, I stretch him out, and I roll a car over his back. And it may be a while before you can even affect General Motors. I understand how stretching works. I understand how a man can love another man, and that's more that I can say for the rest of this world.
Well, the new electric car should be even simpler for you.
Is that you're gonna take it and plug it in? Electric.
That's right. They would have been here already, but some people like to hold things up and make sure they really work right and get all the lithium to mass produce these cutesy little batteries they want to put in them, makes them go real fast and makes them not burn any fuel. Of course, I can make that pretty easily using my fingers or my big blue penis, as you've noted, and it is quite nice. And anyway, it's been interesting meeting you again.
Speaking of lithium, what was the fella's name? There's a fella he met in the. What was his name? Damn it! He was a fella in the 40s. Farmer Burns. Farmer Burns was a man who he brought me into the New York territory, and he had a daughter who was a redwood of a woman. Just legs you could corn on the cob for all night. And Farmer Burns, he introduced me to John Tarlos, and it was a fun time. And if I had electricity back then, I would have stretched him, and the blue penis would have come in handy.
Well. And then, we're 18 months away. There's an electric limousine that's pulling into Delay Plaza. It looks real nice. It's all clean and shiny. And it's just like I said it would be. But there's no little place to hold a giant blue penis like mine.
My son died in an accident.
So what you're saying is you knew he'd get shot? John, if you're serious, why didn't you do something?
Well, I can't prevent the future. To me, it's already happening, and that's just not right.
John, what are you saying? You know the future about everything, about us?
In 1959, I could hear you screaming, It was boring. Here in 1963, soon you're gonna convince me that I should try having sex with you again. Not that it's icky or anything.
Okay, Miss Cleo, just like that? Like I'm a puppet? John, you know everything in this world fits together except people. Your predictions are way off.
No, it was pretty much right on. We have sex right after Wally arrives with the earrings I ordered for you.
Shut up. Stop gaslighting me, John. Sometimes I think you're messing everything up. I mean, all this new technology, all because of you. Things are happening too fast. Things shouldn't... Was that the doorbell?
JD's got a gun. JD? The mailman delivered this to me by mistake. Sorry I didn't drop by earlier. Raymond, say hi to John for me.
Sure. Thanks, Wally.
At this point, Janie opens up the package, seeing the earrings inside.
John, I'm scared. These could have been more expensive, but I feel like there's big, invisible things all around me. And, will you hold me, please?
It's 1963. An hour into the future, her sweat cools and dries in the November bedroom, and, well, I'm just sitting here bored and disgusted all over again. I don't know why I let this happen, why I keep doing it to myself. Oh, look, it's 1964. The Beatles are real big right now. And speaking of big things, I'm informing the Pentagon that I'll no longer be wearing the whole of my costume. I feel like it's best if I'm swinging free. Speaking of which, in 1966, I'm standing in a room full of people wearing disguises and masks and whatnot. I think you can understand what's happening here.
Third, huh? I guess I should welcome everybody to the first ever meeting of the Crime Busters.
A very young girl sits to my right. She looks at me and smiles. Makes me feel a bit icky. In 1985, my hands are encircling her face. I kind of feel like giving her a smack, but I figure that's probably inappropriate. In 1966, the costume people are arguing again. Janie is tugging at my arm. She's always nagging at me, but I figure it's more polite for me to ask what's the matter.
You were staring at that girl. That's what's the matter. Now pay attention.
Now listen, obviously, I agree with that. I agree with that. Now, is it for me to say, though? That is what we need to ask ourselves. Is it for any of us to say? Maybe I feel one way, maybe you feel another way, but maybe the truth is somewhere in between. Now, a group in this size makes this whole thing seem like more of a PR exercise, something to get publicity on this company, unless you disagree with that, which is your right as an American, for God's sake.
She's pretty, I guess. After each long kiss, she plants a smaller, gentler one on my lips, like a signature. Not like she's, full of herself and thinks that she has to do that or anything. But in 1966, the masks are still squabbling. And I'm getting real tired of listening to them talk and not taking the masks off. Their pants, too. Soon the meeting breaks up, and Janie's voice is cold and furious as usual.
John, I think I'd like to go home now, please.
Please don't leave.
Outside, Janie's accusing me of chasing jailbait. I guess she didn't notice that this chick was coming on to me and that I'm really getting tired of all of these females around me every day just whining and crying about little things. Men are so much easier. She bursts into angry tears, asking if it's because she's getting older. Well, I didn't want to say nothing about them sagging titties, but it's getting more and more noticeable every day, and I'm still standing here, standing still, all 18 inches of me just blasted in the wind, completely unstimulated. And it's May in 1966. That was a good time, all the flowers out and looking all pretty, but I think some people were kind of upset with me during this time.
It's so nice of you to come out on patrol with me. My mom, she taught me everything she knew, but I'm still pretty new at this. Your girlfriend won't mind, will she?
You pig! You, James Franco! You were seeing her, I knew it. You're sick. How old is she? 14? 15? You pig.
I don't know what I should call you. My name's Lori. Do you have another name apart from Dr. Manhattan?
Oh, sure. Some people used to call me John, but I didn't really like that name too much. Thought it should have had an age, but my father wasn't a very smart man, other than building clocks.
You tell her what it's gonna be like when your face wrinkles up and your boobs start sagging and you're still goddamn 30. Do you know how expensive it is to get old? How much it costs to Botox your face every month? Titty jobs. It's the worst. You tell her and see what she has to say about that.
It's 1959 now. Janie has handed me the glass. And then it's 1966 and she's packing. Tearful, careless with anger. I'm getting tired of all this jumping around in time, but I guess we gotta do it for the sake of the narrative, and so I can confuse you even more. But the photograph lies in the sand at my feet. Oh, look, it's 1969. That's a fun year. Everybody likes 69. I used to. Then I kind of lost feeling down there. I don't tell anybody that, but I figure I got you all. You're just listening to me talk, and you can't talk back. And I'm being told about my father's death. I can't say I'm gonna miss him all that much. He was kind of a bastard, but there's a certain part of me that thinks, well, he could have been good for something other than throwing my projects out the window. In 1959, he's opening a telegram for the military informing him of his son's accidental disintegration. That was a fun day. You've heard all about that already. My father didn't seem to react much. I never really bothered to correct their mistake on that either. Didn't feel like it was really worth the time and effort. Kind of like all this jumping back and forth the time has been. And I'm starting to get a little tired of it now, and I think we're kind of slowing down a little bit. Oh, nope, I'm wrong. Gillett Flats closes down in 1970. It's Laurie's 20th birthday. Moved to our new Washington apartment. I'm already miserable. But I can't tell her that because it hurts her little feelings. And there's nothing worse than listening to Laurie bitch. I revealed my true name to public, and after Father's death, there seems little point in concealing it. I don't really have anybody I care about. Yes, I know how that sounds. I don't care. In January 1971, oh, here we go. President Nixon is asking me to intervene in Vietnam, and I figure, why should I bother cleaning up? You made it. All them people before you made it. I was just walking around naked, letting my big blue dick swing around, impressing people with it. Life was easy. And now they want me to go kill children overseas. Oh well. 10 years earlier, Kennedy's avoiding any mention of Cuba, which he pronounces Cuba, which I think is pretty cute. I always did like him. He looked good in his little suits. Thought about getting one made for myself, but clothes just feel like itchy on me because I'm all staticky. I can't wear them no more. But then later in November, I'm told that Wally Weaver died of cancer at age 34. And that's alright. His exasperated size and stuttered got my nerves after a little while, so I really don't mind him being gone too much. But, I guess those types of things happen. I don't think anything of it. I didn't give him cancer. Now it's March. I'm in Saigon. Fucking Saigon. Being introduced to Blake, the comedian. I don't know why they call him that. He's not very funny. Some of his jokes, I guess, are a little for the macabre, but they don't really work for me now. But speaking of work, he does it mostly for the government. On that note, I guess that's what I'm doing too. I do find him interesting though, so there's at least that. We have lots to talk about. He's deliberately amoral, which I find kind of fascinating and a little liberating. That means that I don't have to really keep up the social constructs that people keep trying to put around me. I feel better about myself. And it's good whenever you got good people that make you feel better about yourself. Blake was one of those for me, so I guess I do kind of miss him. But I can always come back here if I ever can learn how to control it. He suits the climate here too. It's madness, pointless butchery, and that's how I came to understand Vietnam and what it implies about the human condition. I also realized that few humans will permit themselves such an understanding. Not Blake, he's different. I think I might be getting a little bit of a crush on him. He even likes the same books that I do. Oh, and the adventure begins again. He understands perfectly, and he just doesn't care. It's May. Oh, I've been here 2 months. Oh, good. I'm still with Blake. The Viet Cong are expected to surrender about a week, give or take. And many of them giving themselves up already. And sometimes they even ask to surrender to me personally. Their terror of me balanced by an religious awe. And I'm kind of reminded how the Japanese were reported to have viewed the atomic bomb after Hiroshima. And I think, that's kind of nice. They look at me and they see the big blue penis and they just kind of bow down to it in awe. And they say if more people did that back in the U.S., I'd feel a little bit better about myself. I think we'd all get along a little bit better. Maybe I'd even enjoy people more. Here it is. It's June. PTBN night. The comedian is sliding a gun from his holster. Blood is streaming from his lacerated face. I'm like, oh no, he's been cut. But it's October 1985. No. Do I have to come back here? But I'm deciding to create and turn away from the stars that have burned out eons ago. Now I'm getting all depressed again. I wish people wouldn't depress me like this. But people keep writing this story that way, and I'm getting a little tired of looking at dead things. Yeah, 1975 was a really nice year. Everybody was jiving and jumping around to Love Will Keep Us Together by Captain and Tennille. I preferred Rhinestone Cowboy from Glenn Campbell myself, but that's alright. Everybody else was just talking about what was going on with Nixon and how he was going to run for a third term now that his amendment passed. I guess everybody did love him after all. But sadly for Ozymandias, nobody even cared that he unmasked himself. But that's alright. His real name was Adrian Veidt. He's a self-made millionaire, and I can't imagine anybody really cared too much about that. You know, after retiring from adventuring, he did decide to invite Laurie and me to visit him in his Antarctic retreat. And that was real nice, too.
Ooh, what is it? It's beautiful.
Love will keep us together. I make machine control weather. Oh, that is my pussy, Bubastis. She's a genetically altered lynx. I got into her DNA and changed her up. She costs a lot to feed. She only eats Cinnamon Toast Crunch cereal.
I hadn't realized that eugenics was so advanced now.
Oh, everything is so advanced now. Everything has leaped forward in the last 15 years, like the legendary Marvel villain Batroc the Leaper. Everything from quantum physics to transport to satellite radio to Macintosh computer and iPhone iWatch. For example, I understand that fast and safe airships like balloons are going to be better than airplane. And we all to Dr. Bruce Manhattan. With your help, the scientists like me, we are only limited by our imagination.
Well, you know that they do say that with great power comes great responsibility. So I hope
that's a lie.
It's true. But their consciences should be guiding them, surely.
Well, I hope so, but I am not nearly as optimistic as you, Blue Alien.
His eyes were very sad when he said that. Kind of knowing and telling. And of course I can see how all this ends there already. But I don't feel like talking to them about it because it makes me sad. His servants keep bringing us Indonesian food, and despite my advanced digestive system, it still gives me a little heartburn. But I eat it anyway because that's just the polite thing to do. And all this time he keeps feeding his scraps to his beautiful kitty. That just tells me that he doesn't like the food either. Oh, it's 1985. Aren't you tired of this year yet? We've been here for so long. Choosing a spot for my creation, I'm just going to sit down here in this pink sand. Let my blue balls kind of rub around in it. Get it all between crack of my ass. It's kind of nice. It's softer than you might think. It's not like coarse beach sand back home. Nah, this is more like powder. Who doesn't like to powder their ass? This land is deserted and it's kind of nice. It's very quiet. I don't have any loud thumping music or people yelling and complaining about stupid shit no one cares to hear. And then it's 1977 and we're back to the shouting again. Someone in the costumed adventurers are making their jobs impossible. Police have gone on strike. Everyone's scared. And acting all sentient, anarchist-like, but I don't really care for all that. It makes me feel uncomfortable. But below me, Laurie hauls her from the crowd, but the process is just a little too slow for some people.
Look at him! Look at that freak! It's against God!
I guess I'd best do something. You all need to sit down and pay attention. You will all return to your homes immediately. Go on in there. They're nice and cute and done up real nice for you. You don't need to be out here in this mean streets.
Oh, is that right? And if we don't, what if we want to taste your big blue fruit first from BlueApron.com?
Well, if you wanted a taste of it, all you had to do was first take better care of yourself, because you look a little dingy, like you could use a shower. It'd make you smell better at least. But I wasn't really asking you to go back in your house. I'm more or less telling you to go back in your house. So why don't you just go on and do that?
Jesus! And with that, Dr. Manhattan has actually teleported people back into their homes.
Well, it's the next day, and I'm reading this paper of two people who suffered heart attacks and suddenly find themselves indoors, but I figured that's their natural habitat. I don't know why they're getting so upset. More would have suffered during the riot anyway, so I figured I did them all a big favor, and that's, preventing accidents. It's August 3rd, 1977. The emergency bill proposed by Senator Keene finally passed. Hooray for him. Vigilantism is not illegal again, as it was before. So who cares? This is just another one of those things they tell me I have to say because somebody thinks it was a good idea to write this story so that I bounce back and forth through time. It's not pretentious at all. But anyway, these sort of altered laws make it hard to accommodate such, strategically useful talents such as what I have. As long as I continue to act under U.S. government supervision, they say I'm exempt from the law. Oh, well, good. Continue doing whatever in the hell I want. Laws don't meant to apply to everybody, I suppose. Certain presidents certainly don't think so. They can hardly outlaw me anyway, with their country's defense resting my hands. And they're giant and blue, too, in case you were wondering. Blake is also exempt, since he, too, works entirely for the government. He's still nice to me, though. Probably figures he has to be, even though he's one of the few people that ever actually stand up to me. Now, he was a weird one. And has a small penis, too, but that's either here nor there. But later, after his handling of the Iran hostage situation, even his harshest critics fall silent. I had to kind of be quiet after that when they told me I shouldn't say anything because it'd be rude. Laura still hates him. She's kind of been forced to retire after the Keene Act, but having never really enjoyed the life, she doesn't seem to mind too much. And I like seeing her happy like this. Means I don't have to work too hard. Her mother is more disappointed than she is, but who really cares what she thinks anyway? Her mother's always been a bit of a peel, but so is Laurie. I guess I can see where she gets it from. It's not entirely her fault. She just needs to learn a little bit. But there's only so much of an 18-inch blue penis can teach a person. The new Night Owl kind of started off okay, but he's retired too. Although he's not going to be making his identity public. That's probably for the best. He's looking a little soft in the middle. I don't think that'd be too good for him to do. Truth be told, I think he's probably got kind of a small penis too. So, that costume is a bit revealing. If I was him, I would have rethought it a little. It is at least better than the first Night Owls. But still, could have been at least packed crotch a little. I mean, he's all the time about how big he is down there, but I didn't have the heart to tell him that I knew the truth. Laura's met him several times. Says his name is Dryberg, which is also unfortunate. But the only other active vigilante is Rorschach, and his real name's unknown. To everybody but me, I know what it is, but I try to keep quiet because I didn't think it's really good to start spreading other people's stories, which is why I don't really know why I'm telling you all this stuff. But you're here listening, and I think that's nice. He kind of expressed his feelings towards compulsory retirement in a note left outside police headquarters along with a dead multiple rapist. So I guess that was his answer. Oh, good God. Now it's 1981. I hate this year. Lori and I are settling into these new quarters. They put us in Rockefeller Military Research Center in New York, which you'd think would be real nice because New York in springtime in New York and, well, pretty much any time of year is kind of nice, but it's a drab. I wouldn't really let Lori decorate because, truth be told, she kind of sluts the place up a little bit, and I don't really enjoy that too much myself, even though I do walk around nude all the time. But I just tell them this because I think clothes are a little unnecessary, but Lori just uses them to show off. I think it makes her feel better. But it's well equipped for my work, so I can't complain too much. Lori keeps complaining about how we lost our privacy. I just stare at her like she's stupid, but I think she's gotten used to that too. She kind of likes it here, I guess. Through my little blue fingers, I see little pink grains falling haphazard random. See, this is making me feel pretty good, making me feel kind of happy. It's so simple, but I know it's all just an illusion. These have their shape in time, not space. Some marble blocks have statues within them that's embedded in their future, and I can see those things. Some people's futures look brighter than others. Some people just don't seem to understand their penis is never going to get any bigger. But that's neither here nor there. I hope Dan's doing okay. I hate to think about it sometimes. Anyway, in New York, we're going walking. See, outside. It's nice out here. Even though the streets smell of ozone, rather than gasoline, which is, that's kind of off-putting. Flat, intangible blots of gray slide along summer sidewalks, shallow overhead. Who made me like this? Why am I like this? I'm starting to lose the beauty in the world, and all this jumping forth and back and forth in time. It's 1959, for fuck's sake. A child's weeping for his lost balloon. Who cares, child? It's a balloon. You can get another one. Learn how to blow them up and tie it yourself. For fuck's sake. Any moment now, Janie's watch band will break somewhere, and the fat man is already lumbering towards the shooting gallery. God, you can hear him getting fatter with every step. Head with unwitting destiny. And now, it's August 1985. I'm getting really tired of this. Can't we just skip ahead a little bit? I think you guys know where this is all going, right? You've been here. We've talked about this. Hiroshima, Time Magazine, damaged pocket watch. If you haven't figured it out yet, it's all collected in a nice little paperback called Watchmen. You should go and read it. It'll give you all these wonderful details, and then I can stop monologuing. But I'm going to keep going anyway. Because I'm jumping to October 12th, 1985, and I'm ready to just stop all this. I'm about ready to just say, you know what? The Earth had a nice run. It was good, and everything's okay. Just let it end, because nobody cares. Edward Blake didn't care. He was dead. He was murdered, and now I'm being informed of it. Laurie's mood seems restless for the remainder win. I guess that's because I got tired of seeing her naked, which I find very disconcerting. And now it's Wednesday the 16th. Oh, good. At least I'm not jumping ahead but more than 4 days this time. Laura's off visiting her mother, thank God, while I attend Blake's funeral. That's okay. Then there's this thin man in a black coat, leaves roses. He looks a little gangly. I don't like him very much. Got little pointy ears, too. You ought to get that fixed. They got good plastic surgeons for that now. I don't know why anybody walk around like that. He seems kind of familiar, though. I kind of think about saying hi. But nah, weird. And now it's the 19th. My hands are encircling Laurie's face. And now in 1966, oh, for God's sake, the costume people are arguing. Who cares? They keep yammering back and forth at each other. Nobody really listening to what they have to say because nobody gives a shit. In 1959, I'm telling Jean I always want her. I'm a fucking liar, and you already know that. You've been here. We've been here. Why are we rerunning this? Now it's later, huh? Laurie's walking out on me. Well, good fucking riddance to that. The rooftop in the past for a 16-year-old body to me. That's not weird at all. I'm breathing her perfume, which I kind of just want to ask her where she bought it so I can get some for myself. It smells nice. I say I never want to lose her, but really it's just I kind of liked her fashion sense back then. I wonder where that went. Later still, in the TV studio, I'm being accused of killing those closest to me. Well, if they kept writing me like this, I probably would have killed them by now. I don't think I'd have felt bad about it, but they keep saying the word cancer. I do feel a little bad about that because that's a pretty terrible way to go. I think I would have just disintegrated somebody if I intentionally wanted to harm them. I don't think I'd like to kill somebody slow. I don't really like that. I find it icky. I'm tired of this world and these people. I'm tired of being caught up in the tangle of their lives and people bouncing me around in history because they think it's entertaining. They think that they're telling some kind of deep prophetic story about who knows what, the human condition. Is that what we're talking about here? A man named Alan Moore is pretty pretentious, I think. Yeah, he is. He writes a good story, though, so I guess we can excuse that. It's Arizona now. I'm entering the ruin bar with a sensation of deja vu. Now I get deja vu? Huh. Interesting timing. I'm taking a snapshot from a broken frame, and then I'm gone back again. Gone to Mars. See, it's nicer here. There's no clocks. There's no seasons, no hour club trapped in the shifting sand. Down below me, in the sand, the secret shape of my creation is concealed, buried in the sand's future. I'm gonna make this nice, clocky-looking thing. Not really sure what it is. I just kind of like putting shapes together, and I thought, oh, this is nice. It's nice, pretty. Something I can float around on Mars in. I don't know who's really gonna see it other than me, but it makes me happy. This thing grows up around me. I'm shaping it into this predetermined contourist guide by my hand. I'm not really sure, but in 1945, oh no, not again. Bombs falling on Japan, and cogs are falling on Brooklyn. Well, who would just dump out cogs on Brooklyn? That is stupid. Why are you busting your clocks and your watches open like that? That's just silly. People are strange. Without me, though, things would have been different. If the fat man hadn't crushed the watch, and if I hadn't left it in the test chamber, kind of makes me think that all this is really my fault. Maybe it was the fat ones. Or my father for choosing my career. I do have daddy issues. He never approved of my lifestyle, but then again, I don't really give a shit what he thought. Nobody did. He was a watchmaker. Who gives a shit? And it doesn't really matter which of us are responsible. I mean, who makes the world after all? But perhaps the world wasn't made. Perhaps nothing was. Just is. Has been. Always will be. And then again, that's a little like a clock without a craftsman. I guess it's possible, though. Anything is. I'm standing on the balcony of pink sand. It's hardening the glass. It's almost shiny. And it glitters in all this sunshine. 2 hours past, just be reaching Pluto. They have strong telescopes there. They can see me, the photograph of my hand and my giant blue penis swinging in the wind. I think I'll swing it around for a bit and let them get a little show. And now I'm standing in the fire escape in 1945, just as I was starting to have a good time. Reaching out to stop my father. Takes cogs and flywheels from him. Piece them all together again, but it's too late. He's already thrown them out the window. This is why I found him insufferable. And here we are again. Nobody really cares what's going on here. I'm just going to watch these meteorites fall to the earth and I can say, oh, you people was dumb, but I tried. I'll just wave to you, swing my big blue dick in your direction.
Wow,
Nick.
Yeah.
Wow, Nick. That's
strong words from a strong man, Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah. Yes, we are witnessing Dr. Manhattan as he's starting to assert his will on this broadcast and show us various points in time. And Nick, I don't know where this could be leading.
Yeah, I don't either, man. What a crazy turn of events. And how about that complex origin? The jumping back and forth through time. What a narrative device, huh?
And how about that giant blue penis?
Oh,
I mean,
isn't it magnificent?
It feels like it gets larger in each scene.
Well, that's the power it has. The more isolated Dr. Manhattan becomes, the larger his dick becomes. It's not like Bruce Banner's anger and the Hulk. It's a direct proportion, I think. So, folks, you've just heard the backstory of Dr. Manhattan. You've heard kind of where his mindset's is at right now. But what's going on back on Earth? What's going on with the other characters we were introduced into in the first volume of our little tale? Well, the answer to that question will be answered right after this.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Hey, pro wrestling announcer Kevin Kelly here. I want to make sure you are all subscribed to all the great feeds here at Place to Be Nation. It's really easy to do. Just head to iTunes or your preferred podcatcher app today and search and subscribe to the Place to Be Nation wrestling feed, which of course includes the full archives of the Kevin Kelly Show, the Place to Be Nation pod feed, and the Pro Wrestling Only feed. Subscribe, listen, and then rate us and leave feedback today. And be sure to give Justin your true thoughts. I mean, don't hold back. After all, he is kind of a jerk. Just listen to Scott.
And welcome back. Here we are with Chapter 5 of our story. And Chapter 5 opens with the familiar figure of Rorschach walking down a rainy street and arriving at the apartment of one Moloch.
What? The what? Hello? Caller? Who's there? You're on CNN with Larry. I heard a noise. Somebody's got to be there. I look over for my lovely wife, Sean Sedgwick. She's not there. What's going on? Oh, that's right. I'm Moloch. I've got the pointy ears. Well, where is this strange intruder? I'll grab my Brooklyn Dodgers baseball bat, take my skinny knees, and walk downstairs and look for the intruder. You think I'm scared, huh? I'm from Brooklyn. I know what scared is. I used to go to a bodega with 5 cents and eat all day long. You think I'm scared of some shaky little junkie with a switchblade named Randy? Is that what you think? I'm scared? Caller?
Moloch walks downstairs in his apartment, over to the refrigerator, which he opens. There on a plate is a note, and behind him appears Rorschach.
Milk? Prune juice? What's this note? What? Rorschach? Oh my God. I wasn't going to point this at you. You're not on the air. I've turned off communications for this. No, Rorschach, no, please, no.
Oh, a Suzuki goon, huh? No license. I checked. I checked your damn license. Not only did I check it once, I checked it twice, for God's sake. It's very bad if you don't have a license for your Suzuki gun. Also, you're sweating. You know who else sweated a lot? I'm going to tell you who sweated a lot. Sylvester Ritter, a.k.a. the Junkyard Dog. I spent 10 years watching that man sweat, but while he sweat, every bead of sweat that he sweated, and I'm going to say sweat one more time to get it across to you right now, was $1 made for Cowboy Bill Watts. Looks unpleasant. You ought to cool down for a moment and wait your damn turn.
I apologize. These are old eyes. I haven't used my eye cream lately. Caller, I grabbed them cakes, much like the Junkyard Dog, but they were latkes instead. I know people, and I got this gun registered through means that you don't need to know about, J.R. Shack. What do you want with me anyway? I'm just an old Hebrew from Brentwood.
I don't want a damn thing. I am just passing through here trying to show my respect to one of the legends of this business. And instead I find you old and alone. I thought you might appreciate someone like me, Rorschach, coming by your house to give you some of my knowledge of how the business has evolved. It's not like it was in 1912 when you're walking in Brooklyn wrestling with Ed Strangler Lewis and his prominent headlock. You got to do more than that nowadays. You got to move. You got to create some action, for God's sake. Thought you'd appreciate me.
I used to take the A-line down to the garden and see Bruno there, even though he wrestled after I had moved out to California already. But for narrative's sake, I used to see shows at the garden, and I wish there had been a great Jewish wrestler. Instead, all these fake Nazis like Baron von Munchausen and Fritz von Erich and all those people and the what you have.
And don't forget
and
Waldo.
Here you are.
Waldo von Erich.
Oh, that's right. Waldo von Erich with the goose stepping and what have you. But you've got me stuffed in the refrigerator, much like Kyle Rayner's girlfriend, and I need to get out, sir. I am old. This cold is not doing anything for me. But
I thought that we could just talk about the comedian. You know, his ass got murdered. Murdered, I tell you. He got killed. He ain't coming back from the dead, folks. He ain't gonna make a comeback right now and show some babyface fire and get the crowd on his side. He's dead. He's finished. That's okay. That is a dead topic as far as I'm concerned. He visited you, mentioned the list. You and Janie Slater. Y'all were both on it. Okay. Up against the wall, redneck mother. Talked about someone messing with Dr. Manhattan. Days later, Manhattan, his ass is publicly disgraced. I was disgraced. I was fired. Did I bitch about it? Did I moan about it? No, I continued working for the company that humiliated me year after year. That's what you do. Instead, Manhattan runs off, gone into exile. He ain't going to be coming back anytime soon. The allegations, now these are just internet rumors. And I want to say offhand, before I even tell you this, I feel bad even telling you this. Because these are just internet rumors started by some dork sitting in his mother's basement who has been watching television for far too many years. But they say he's been giving people cancer. You, Janie Slater, I don't believe it. Until Dave Meltzer reports it, I don't believe it. I don't believe what's coming out of the sheets of the world, the Ryan Satins. Who the hell are these people? Tough break.
Cancer? You want to talk cancer? Regis Philbin. That's a cancer. Oh, this list. It's got Kevin Owens. It's got Shinji Nakamura. It's got lots of people. Wait, that's the wrong list. Hello. Caller, you're on the air with Larry live at night. Rorschach, why are you putting all this heat on me? I don't even have my teeth in yet.
You ain't gonna need teeth after a while, because I will send Danny Hodge to yank your teeth out of your mouth with one hand. You know he can still squeeze an apple and create apple juice. Because I think Blake's list was a cancer list. A list of cancers on this business. People who will do high spots and flip around, don't know selling, don't know time limit draws. For God's sake, that's just ridiculous. Why would you have a time limit draw? Folks, it makes sense. This is the only business, superhero business, where there's no time limit draws. Comedian could have gone to a time limit draw, but he's dead. Somebody wrote this damn list. Somebody put your name on it. Somebody gave it to the media, the internet wrestling media. Wonder who that could have been. Somebody is leaking things like Michael Hayes used to leak things, and that's why Watts fired him. Now, Dr. Manhattan, the comedian, those are your biggest enemies. Now they're both gone. Oh, that's real cute. That's real convenient. I guess you're just going to tell, JR Shack, just let me off. Let me off with a warning, JR Shack. But what is it, Moloch? Just tell me who's behind it. Maybe I will let your ass off with a warning.
Well, I certainly leak things, sir, but not the way you expect. I've told you everything I know. I've had a 70-year-long career in this business, and I need to go back to bed with my lovely wife, Sean. Wake up, feed breakfast to my son, Chase. He's a good boy. He's a smart boy. He's going to play first base for the Dodgers one day. But I don't know anything about what you're talking about, J.R. Shatch.
This ain't about Chase, okay? If I was going to assault a Chase, it would be Chase Crisley, the son of Todd Crisley. I am not here about that. What I am here to do is tell you ain't telling me what I want to hear. You ain't giving me the right tone of voice. You are not taking a moment out of your day to do something nice for someone else. Do something to help someone around you, for God's sake.
Goodness gracious, I remember Todd Chrisley when he was just a announcer for beauty pageants. Caller, you're on the air. Rorschach, put that Billy Club down. It wasn't me. I know nothing. Talk to my producer. Talk to Don Lemon. Talk to some of these other personalities on the air. I'm an old man. My hair is fake. I look like death warmed over. I don't know who it was who leaked the list.
Mom. Well, that's a little bit better, is what I'd say if you were right here in front of me right now. And you are. So that's better. That's what I wanted to hear. It is a very interesting situation we've got on our hands right now. Folks, this is what is known in the business as not showing up to the arena on time to make a paycheck. Now, I remember one time Billy Jack Haynes was working the Mid-South Coliseum. Now, I was there. It was me. It was Vern Gagne was there scouting for the AWA. And Bob Caldwell was on the call with me. And Billy Jack Haynes did not arrive at the arena until 3 o'clock in the damn morning, and he asked us for the money. I said, if you want money so bad, why don't you go murder 2 kids as part of a cocaine smuggling operation? God damn it, he went and did it.
Billy Jack Haynes, a fine Oregonian. I apologize for vanishing for a moment. When you're my age, sometimes the leakage, if you know what I mean, takes over. I'll do anything you want, J.R. Shack. I'm all yours. I'm your patsy. I hope it doesn't get back to the boys, Sully and his friends back in the Bronx, that I'm going to sing like a Boyd. Caller, you're on the air with Larry Morlock.
You know what? I'm just going to get going now. I feel like I've wasted enough of our time. We have talked about 5 hours at this point, and I haven't learned a damn thing. If anything should refresh your memory, remember to contact me by tweeting me at JRsBBQ. That's at JRSBBQ. Or you can contact me on the loneliest website on the internet, JRsBarbQ.com. We're not happy about that nomenclature, but we're working on it.
I'm a big fan of the main event mustard.
Oh, it's the best. The J.R. Shack main event mustard will make any hot dog taste even better than it already did. And as you know, hot dogs are delicious.
It's got to be kosher.
Well, that's arguable. That's a matter of opinion. Anyway, I'm sorry about this mess, and you can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs and then putting on some barbecue sauce.
Rorschach's Journal, October 21st, 1985. Left Larry King's house at 2:35 a.m. He knows absolutely nothing about this business. He has not one single original idea in his brain about how to get somebody over. Now, I've been telling him that my opinion, you got to be physical. You have got to be physically intense in your story. He disagreed. He thinks it's all about the sizzle instead of the steak. And you got to have steak in order for the sizzle to mean anything. Any attempts to discredit Dr. Manhattan, he didn't know a damn thing about that. Or Dr. Death, or Dr. Scholl, or Dr. Tom Pritchard. He's simply been used. But by whom? Russians seem an obvious choice. Hell, Ivan Koloff, Nikita Koloff, both key military figures. Shit, why not? Anyway, the comedian referred to an island, artists and writers living on it. Doesn't fit. Can't concentrate. Too tired. No sleep since Saturday. I have been on a red-eye flight to get to Monday Night Raw to prepare for the road to WrestleMania. Who is going to get in? For God's sake, King. We have had a build that has lasted a lifetime, and now the opportunity of a lifetime waits for one man. One man will walk out of that ring as the by God #1 guy in this business. Who's it going to be? Walked home past some trash cans stuffed with rumors of war, weigh-in factors, bodies, sandwiches, not a damn barbecue sauce bottle in sight. Waiting for a flash of enlightenment in all this blood and thunder.
And we open inside a room where a murder has taken place. 2 detectives enter the room with one woman grieving over the death around her.
We need to know everything, Mrs. Hirsch.
War. He said there was going to be war with the Russians. Said he wanted to spare the little ones. Dominique, she kept saying war, which is like war. She's just 3. She repeats things. And then,
Jawohl, Mrs. Hirsch. No more questions. Officer Rhodes will drive you to the hospital. Hey, wait a minute. You aren't Rhodes?
The time to measure what is my girth
Cause fuck USA and fuck Rod Perth. Where I go, face tits or bum. Doesn't matter wherever I come. Now I don't know. Oh, I don't know. I don't know where I'm gonna go when my gurk starts to blow. I'm sorry. Yes, I'm a detective. I'm a Detective Rod McMahon. You may know my brother, the big TV executive in town. I had to step in here for Officer Rhodes on this gig. He's looking for his wife, Sapphire. He doesn't know where she is, but we're all still looking for her. Jesus Christ, though, what happened here?
Yeah. A guy worried about nuclear war killed both kids in front of their mom, then opened his jugular. There's gonna be more like this.
Well, as my brother always said, Brian Pillman's dead. On with the show. I mean, with me, I think it's astrological, Brockus. Halley's Comet is coming back around. Halley or Haley? Haley? That's an omen of doom.
Yeah. So is Russia invading Afghanistan. We should invade them first.
Well, as my brother always says, made in the USA, Lex Luger. That'll blow over. World War III, it'll never happen. No, he's crazy enough to do that. What do you use on these things?
Kitchen knife. The names were Claire and Dominique.
Well, as my brother always says, it's the SummerSlam you thought you'd never see. Those are nice names. Sort of film star names.
Yeah.
As my brother always says, the boyhood dream has come true for Shawn Michaels. You want to go get some fucking breakfast?
Yeah.
As my brother always says, my battle-axe wife blew all of our money on her pathetic political dreams. Listen, don't let this ruin your day. These psychos are mostly media-inspired.
Yeah. The media inspires boredom, not waking up one Monday and butchering your kids. That takes something else. That takes a whole different kind of inspiration. Believe me, I know.
And we return to a familiar newsstand where Bernie and Bernie are discussing their usual when a man approaches looking to charge his electric car.
Hey, Turkey, quit splashing!
Oh, where should I recharge? Couldn't make it to the Tokyo Dome. Now quit obstructing the current. It's better. Got today's Observer?
Sure. The war's looking serious. Makes the guys start figuring out escape routes, you know? I mean, my father, when things deteriorated in 30s Germany, he split.
Sure, back in World War II. What about World War III? 90 men. Not much work rate in that one. 1.25 stores. That's right. 1.5, 1.25 stores. Where's the split to? Anyway, that's enough juice to make it to Connecticut to assassinate Vince McMahon. See you next delivery day.
Yeah, sure. Where is the split to? I wonder. That'll never happen. Well, maybe if there was some kind of a fortress of solitude, I might split today and live with Superman. But anyway, I wonder what's the lay in the new frontiersman. Next month's comic books arrive early. Today's frontiersman arrives late. Goddamn war's screwing everything up.
Oh, shucky, ducky, quack, quack.
Absolutely everything.
Now let us venture inside a diner where Dan Dryberg and Lori Jupiter have been enjoying a delicious meal. Lori's just getting up to leave, and Dan is busy gnawing away on his chicken wing as well as his bowl of delicious Quaker oatmeal.
You know, they said I can't live there anymore now that John's gone. Plus, they suspended my expense account, so all I have is my savings. It was just like, fuck you, we're taking your home and your money. Chew on that, bitch.
Where the fuck are you gonna go? Did you call your mom? And if next time you talk to her, tell her to quit bugging me. Listen, it was fun and everything, but once you get up there, I'm not really interested in fucking a lady that looks like the goddamn old woman from the Titanic.
Oh, she'd love that. I'd sooner
Right,
on
she
her
would.
Brady. No, I'll get by. It just burns my ass to be so damn disposable. Anyway, thank you for buying me lunch. I better go find a cheap room somewhere. Sarah, you okay? You look kind of uncomfortable.
No, I guess I'm alright. Just all that talk about burned ass reminded me of Barry Windham and kind of gave me a flashback. Anyway, I guess I'll see you around sometime.
Sure. Bye, Dan.
Laurie, hold up a minute. Now listen, there's always the back alley of the Food Lion, and then if everything goes all right back there, I guess I could think about letting you crash at my place for 2 to 4 hours.
Oh, I couldn't impose.
Oh, it'd be no fucking imposition. I got a lot of room around there. A lot of room with a lot of beds, a lot of toys, if you know what I mean. I mean, we're both friends. We're both in a similar line of work, and we're both, we're both single and ready to mingle.
Rorschach's Journal, October 21st, 1985. Woken Matt Hardy at 11 by shooting outside. Now, speaking of shouting and shooting, those are both things that were done by my good friend Cosro, a.k.a. the Iron Sheik. You might know him. You might have heard of him as the Iron Sheik. I know him as Cosro. He's a good buddy of mine. Now, Cos, a little bit out there, a little different. Likes to talk about breaking people's backs and, well, quite frankly, sundry things I don't want to talk about here. He talks about all kinds of things, but he's a good man at his heart, and I am happy to see that he is doing better with the help of my friend, Diamond Dallas Page. Now, you too can get help by my friend Diamond Dallas Page with his DDP yoga program. I've been using it. Chris Jericho's used it. AJ Styles. It is a cornucopia, a veritable heaven of wrestlers who have used this product to become more athletic, leaner, stronger, faster athletes that can survive in the modern environment that is this business. So if you are interested in getting in better shape, visit DDP Yoga. Tell good old JR sent you. And by good old JR, I mean Rorschach. Disturbed to find I'd fallen asleep without removing the foreskin from my head. Tireder than I thought. Should be more careful. Across the street, young boys with spray cans were defacing abandoned building. Memorized their descriptions of things like Barry Windham's hotel room, and then I prepared for work. First thing I did was I peeled off my face. The face that has been made fun of by Dan Dryberg for too long. Folded it, hid it inside my jacket. Without my face, nobody knows. Just a walking exoskeleton. Nobody knows who the hell I am. Just a guy with a skull. On the way out of the room, I met the landlady. Usual complaints regarding hygiene and rent. Basically, she is of the opinion, folks, and I'm interested in getting some opinion on this. She is of the opinion that if you do not shower for days or wear deodorant, that you tend to stink. I disagree, because my dad didn't wear deodorant, my mom didn't wear deodorant, nobody in my family ever wore deodorant, Steve Austin never wore deodorant, and they are the most pleasant-smelling individuals I have ever been around in my life. If you ask me, perhaps it is in your perception. Maybe if you just sit back and let the smell play out and see where it goes, you might have a better idea of this business and what's going to happen. Just sit back and enjoy the scent. On my way out of the room, I met the landlady again. There were bite marks on her fat, white neck. Fresh ones. She reminded me of my mother, who I once watched getting rammed from behind by a random stranger. Out in the street, I inspected a defaced building, not unlike myself. A silhouette, picture in the doorway. A man and a woman possibly indulging in sexual foreplay. Now, maybe that's your scene. I know for a lot of people they'd be saying, ooh, foreplay. Oh, she's here tweeting. Hey, Robert J.R. Shack, I like foreplay. I'm going to tell you something right now. Didn't like it. Quite frankly, I did not enjoy it. It did not make me erect. It didn't make me aroused. Didn't make me want to jump on somebody and go to town on them and let them taste my JR's barbecue sauce. Didn't make me do any of that. I wasn't aroused, is what I'm getting. It makes the doorway look haunted. And I am very afraid of individuals. I've been afraid since I was a little boy. Afraid of anything that looks like sex. So on 40th and 7th, I saw Dryberg and Okada leaving the diner. They didn't know me. An affair, perhaps? Did she engineer Dr. Manhattan's exile to make room for Dryberg? Also, she hated comedians' ass. And I'm going to tell you something. Funny does not equal money. Must investigate further. Entering the diner, I bought coffee and sat, and watched my mail drop immediately across the street. Passers-by made various deposits, candy wrappers, newspapers, doo-doo, tongues lolling out horribly. This city is an animal, fierce and complicated. Another guy that was fierce and complicated was Barry Windham. Now, Barry Windham He liked his women, he liked his men, and he even liked other things that I'm not even going to mention right now. But when he wanted his needs met, he visited cowboysforangels.com. And he did it using TrueCar. And when he's done, he'd take them out for a nice meal of Blue Apron. Anyhow, all that beside, this city is fierce and complicated, folks. To understand it, I read its doo-doo, its scents, the movement of its parasites. I sit watching the trash can, and New York opened up its heart to me. Good old J.R. Shack.
We open again on a very familiar newsstand where Bernie and Bernie are exchanging notes on the state of things.
Tell you the truth, this whole bloody mess, it gives me a funny feeling inside, you know? Like not in the knees and not in the belly, but somewhere between. It's like, how long can we hold on to that part of us? I mean, World War III, it's a nightmare. The only people can even think about it are the arms companies. You watch the financial pages. These guys, they're going to make a killing. They're so greedy. They're greedy for cash and for Bitcoin and for all of the things, and all the things that they won't even be able to spend because it's all going to be worthless. And don't they see the signs? Don't they know where all of this is headed?
Hey, man, I'm reading.
See? Just like that, apathy. Everybody's escaping into their comic books and their television and their smartphones and their Facebook and their Snapchat and their MySpace. I mean, all this, it could all be gone. All the people, all the cars and the TV shows and the magazines, and even the word gone would be somewhere else. So the news vendors, we get the whole picture. Like, news vendors know. That's why news vendors are going to be here forever. It's our curse. We see every damn connection, every damn link.
And we open inside the luxurious, beautiful offices of Adrian Veidt.
Time's running out, Mr. Veidt. You better hurry.
I know. It's those toy people I have to see this morning, isn't it? Mattel, Kenner, Superpowers line, Mego. Who is it this time?
That's right. They want some new characters in line in the Ozymandias. Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. Maybe some of your major villains or something.
Huh. All the major villains are dead. Andre the Giant, Dread Pirate Roberts, Moloch, that handsome fellow. They're all kaput.
What is with everybody today? I mean, everybody's on this total death trip, like news in the morning. Some guy with nuts killed your kids. You see that? You see that? Shit.
No, I didn't. I do not watch American television. I prefer the French news network.
Okay. Oh, sure. Well, apparently he was scared that there was going to be a war, and isn't that just dumb? So nobody would be crazy enough to start one, so why is everybody on such a downer about that anyway? I mean, it's not like the Trump is president or nothing.
No, it's not like the Trump is president or nothing. Perhaps they all lack your youth and good looks and happy optimism faces.
You kidding me?
No. Ozymandias, Adrian Veidt, never kids. I am deathly serious. And you are beautiful.
Well, I don't know. I think maybe it's the decor around here or something. Although this is the Egyptian stuff. It's very morbid, very obsessed with death. Yeah.
Have you ever been to the Luxor Casino in Las Vegas? It's a very romantic place. Death wasn't morbid to the ancient Egyptians. They saw it as a launching of a voyage of spiritual discovery. You die, you come back, you are a mummy, you climb the pyramid, you have sex with Cleopatra. Isn't that a comforting thought?
I don't grasp anything that you just said. Are you kidding me right now? Like, oh, okay. I mean, losing 10 pounds, that's about comforting thought. That's a great comforting thought. My next raise, that is a comforting thought. Yes. Gloria Vanderbilt, MTV, those at one time were comforting thoughts, maybe. But spiritual discovery, on the other hand, I can't take it. Oh God.
Suddenly, mercifully, a gunman appears, shooting the assistant and creating a fight amongst Ozymandias and himself.
Oof, oof. Hey, what do you have in your mouth? You need to open your mouth. Open your mouth.
Oh, jeez. Mr. Vate, stand back. Hurricane can handle it now.
Excuse me. My name is Mr. Vite, as in white, and we can handle it myself. This guy has a poison capsule in his mouth. It's probably cyanide. Don't bite down. Don't bite down, you scum. I want to know who sent you. Who was it? The Soviets? Mila Jovovich? The Russians? Producers of Gotham? I need to know who is behind this.
Suddenly, the gunman falls down, dead.
Goddamn sons of bitch. Call the toy people and cancel the extension of the Ozymandias line. If they ask why, just tell them I don't have any more enemies.
It's a newspaper stand again. With Bernie.
War, child murder, attempted assassination. The front page is a nightmare. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, somebody chops up their kids. Somebody else shoots at Adrian Veidt. I mean, who'd want to kill a guy like that? It's like, if somebody wants to kill off a pompous prick saint like Veidt, what chance has any of us got? He's a real hero. He did charity work. Revealed his name like he had nothing to hide. Slept with 3 of my wives. 2 of my kids. Jeez, when's it gonna end? Hell, no wonder people go crazy. Like, this one guy, he kills his kids. It's like a week ago, that was a normal family. You know, just the dad goes to work, comes home, hits all the kids and the wife, then they all hit back. That was just normal. You never know. You never know what's bearing down. We see the surface, but there's so much stuff that we don't notice until it's too late.
Rorschach's Journal, October 21st, 1985. Someone tried to kill Veight's ass. It proves the mask killer theory. The murderer is closing in. I checked the mail drop. Message from Moloch. Connected, perhaps? Hell if I know. Listen, it's not for me to say. Some might say, oh, well, you're investigating and you're investigating. That is easy to say from the comfort of your couch, ladies and gentlemen. I prefer to do things. You can either sit on your couch and criticize others, or you can go and make a difference in this world. Me, I'm trying to make a difference. It is not my job to assume if these two things are connected. The message from Moloch, the killer of Veidt, I don't know. It's not my opinion, folks. This is not about my opinion. This is about the facts. And am I supposed to gather the facts? Are you supposed to gather the facts? All of that is up in the air. And I say all that to say, yes, it is my job to do that. Next, I went to retrieve my face from an alley. Outside Utopia, police retrained on KT-28s. He was screaming something about President Nixon, something about bombs, something about Jack Tunney. Is everyone but me going mad? Over 40th Street, an elephant shitting. Beyond that, unseen spy satellites. If they so much as narrow their glass eyes, or their glass-bottom boat rides, we shall all be dead. This relentless world, there is only one sane response to it. To hire a prostitute to take a dump on a table while you watch and masturbate underneath. The alleyway was cold and deserted. My things were exactly where I'd left them, waiting for me. Putting them on, I abandoned my disguise and became myself, free from fear, free from weakness, free from lust. My coat, my shoes, my spotless gloves, except for one little bit of barbecue sauce, which you can purchase on the loneliest website on the internet, jrShacksBarbecue.com. Not really happy with the nomenclature. Working on it, folks. We're going to make it better. My face. I had 3 hours before calling on Moloch. What in the hell do you do for 3 hours? Well, I'll tell you one thing you can do. You can visit any of the wonderful sponsors of this show, or you can tweet me at jrShacksBBQ on Twitter and complain and bitch and moan like so many of this entitled generation likes to do. Anyway, away down the alley, I heard a woman scream. First bubbling notes of City's evening chorus. I approached the disturbance. Turns out it was an attempted rape, mugging, or both? I just cleared my throat. Man turned, and there was something rewarding in his eyes. Sometimes this night, be generous to me. Some soulful Marvin Gaye music is playing through the outlandishly decorated sound system. Dan Dryberg, as he shows Lori Jupiter into her quarters where she will be spending time. He presses a button, and a bar that had been sitting up in the room switches around to become a giant king-sized bed.
Dan, really, you don't know how grateful I am for this. After where I thought I was going to be sleeping tonight, this is like a veritable heaven.
Oh, you ought to be fucking grateful. This place is great. Goddamn the bed. Look at this bar. Look at these sheets, woman. You ain't never seen anything so goddamn good in your life. That blue fucker, he may have had an 18-inch dick, but he didn't have money like I do. Anyway, you should be pretty comfortable here, and I'll be sleeping right down the hall. If you wake up in the night and need anything, you know, like coffee, a Four Loko, booger sugar, a mushroom, an aspirin, a quick fuck, anything like that.
Oh, I'll be fine. I'm so tired I'm going to sleep till Thursday. Thanks for looking out for me, Dan. You're like a big brother, you know that?
Well, if you're into that fucking incest roleplay shit, I guess I could get down like that. Anyway, I'm glad I could help. See your ass in the morning.
Good night, Dan. Sweet dreams.
Oh, hell and damnation.
And we return to our favorite newsstand in the world as Bernie, the newsstand owner, is tending to his flock, when out of nowhere appears a new customer, it seems. An individual named Joey. She's adorned in a flannel shirt and jeans.
This goddamn pain in the tuchus rain. Don't it ever let up? Well, who needs it? This whole job's like paddling against the tide. Working the streets these days takes a real mensch.
Fucking hell, man. Taxi driving's busting my fucking balls. Give me a copy of Hustler.
Hey, Joey, how's the Promethean? Still bringing light to the world?
We sure need light with this Afghanistan crapola. Hey, who's this month's centerfold?
Afghanistan's a long way away. It's Pakistan ought to worry. They're wide open.
Well, we're all pretty vulnerable. That reminds me, I got a poster. Maybe you could display it so it won't get torn up.
Gay women against rape? What is this, a joke?
It's a benefit gig. What do you want? You ain't gonna nail it up, or am I gonna alter your looks?
Bringing light to the world, my ass.
And with that, we cut to the offices of the two detectives we've seen throughout the story, where they are hard at work on some procedural paperwork.
In the middle of the night, I go fucking in my dreams. You know, the way the world is today, I guess none of these messiahs and illuminated types really amounted to a whole hill of beans. Well, I mean, as my brother always says, Aretha Franklin! That's the phone!
There's never been any market for peace and enlightenment. Einigkeit und Freiheit. I used to own the records that had this sleeve design.
Wow! As my brother always says, I just had sex with Rita Chatterton in a limo, so hands off! That's evidence! Incidentally, the phone's ringing.
Yeah. You know, all today I've had this funny feeling. It's like there's something in the air.
Yeah, well, like my brother always says, I want to fuck my daughter and my son-in-law. But that sounds like waves, man. They're coming from the phone.
Nein. I mean, first that kitty murder. Then somebody tries to whack Adrian White. It's like there's a pattern leading somewhere.
Well, as my brother always says, I put my wife in a coma so I can simulate sex with a sports fitness model. But Steve, will you just answer the goddamn phone? I mean, I do it myself, but I have all this blank case paperwork that you forgot about.
Okay, I am answering it. Yeah, hello. Yeah, it's Detective Fine speaking. A tip? Sure, what's your name? No name, huh? Okay, that's acceptable. What do you have? Raw what?
Raw.
Did you say shark? Raw shark? Why would I want to know where to find raw shark? Okay, jawohl. I know who we're talking about now. Okay. Where? Got that. When will he be there? Is he... Yeah, understood. We are on our way. Yeah, auf Wiedersehen.
Well, as my brother always says, I want my football. You're kidding, Steve. I mean, that wasn't about Monday Night Raw, was it?
You're damn right it was! Yes! After all of these years, somebody just hands us this bastard's head on a plate! Come on, we got a date. Let's ignore some red lights.
Uncooked! Uncensored! I forgot the third one. Call Rob Bartlett.
And with that, we transition back to the scene of Moloch's apartment. And we see Rorschach entering for his late-night rendezvous with one Moloch.
11:30 at night on Access TV. Good evening, Hiroshi Tanahashi. Got your note. Been wondering why you wanted to see me. Tried to shoot the world's smartest man today. Maybe you heard about that. Decent? Fair? Not that bad? The comedian? Dr. Manhattan? Ozymandias? Kazushi? He told me I could call him Okada. Somebody's killing masks, Jacoby. Somebody wants us dead. Maybe it could be an old enemy of mine. Hell, maybe it could be Vince McMahon. He's fired my ass 5 times by now. Son of a bitch. You know who never fired my ass? The cowboy Bill Watts. And Watts had a simple philosophy. Maybe somebody you met in prison could come back to kill your ass one day. Simple philosophy, I'll admit, but a philosophy that served him well and kept him in this business. Been running through a lot of names. Was it Bad Luck Fale? Was it Jimmy the Gimmick? Or hell, the King of Strong Style, Shinsuke Nakamura? Lots of questions, not a damn answer in sight. Maybe your ass can enlighten me.
And then as Rorschach approaches Moloch, he notices a bullet hole through his forehead. Moloch is dead.
Rorschach! This is the police, Rorschach. We know you're in there. It's all over. Now, if there's anybody in there with you, I want you to send them out. First, unharmed.
No, 1,000 times no.
Then you follow them with both hands clearly visible. I'm going to give you 30 seconds.
Now 30 seconds is an interesting amount of time. Because if I waited that 30 seconds, what exactly would occur? What would happen if I waited the whole 30 seconds that you've given me just now? Would it lead to a time limit draw? Let me tell you about a time limit draw. You know, in 1974, Dan Hodge applied a headlock to Lou Thez that lasted over 4 hours. It led to a time limit draw is what I'm getting to. I was framed, set up, walked right into it. I acted stupid. But it was a time limit draw.
After that, I cannot make any promises for your safety. Come, Rorschach. Let's make this a nice, clean surrender.
Huh. You'll be lucky if I don't apply a Danny Hodge headlock to you for 4 more hours. I ain't gonna surrender.
Time is ticking, Rorschach. Listen, we've got men out front and back. We've got guns and tear gas. We got a whole lot of hardware here.
Now, I want to let you know, you got a lot of weapons, but you know what you don't have? A wonderful, refreshing Casper mattress. Casper mattress. When you lay on this thing, you will not wake up for 4 days.
15 seconds. 10 seconds. Rorschach, you are making this tough on yourself. 5, 4. Okay, that's it. Time is up and we are coming in. I hope you're ready.
Hey, you can come in whenever you damn well please, but I hope that before you do, you will consider visiting MeUndies.com, the most comfortable underwear in the entire world.
And with that, the SWAT team kicks down the door, busting into Moloch's apartment, and Rorschach runs for cover. Hello in there?
Jeez, he better be here if that was a bum tip.
You see that lock, man? He's been here all right. We'll take the ground floor first and work up. And remember, he'll be tigers. Watch out he doesn't...
At this point, Rorschach beats the shit out of a SWAT guy with a flamethrower.
Oh, shit. Watch out, he's torching the stairs!
Ah, Christ. What happened? Get some water from the kitchen and put this out.
Get after him. There's no way out.
Jeez.
Hey, we need more water up here. Where's our goddamn backup?
He's just up ahead on the third floor. Damn it! Are they following us or what?
They're right behind us. Okay, he's up here somewhere.
Man, I don't like this. The guy's an animal. But at least according to the fact sheets, he don't usually go armed.
Rorschach attacks the SWAT member number 4's eyes.
Ah! Jesus God, my eyes! Help me, man. I can't see.
Get out of the way! Get out of the way! I don't have no room to shoot!
And with that, Rorschach fires his grapnel gun at another member of the SWAT team.
Charlie, what's happening? My eyes, man. My eyes.
Willis and Greaves are hurt. Forget the fire and for God's sakes, get up here. He's in the bedroom. We've got him.
Charlie? Is Charlie hurt? I can't see. What's going on?
Preach a little gospel, sell a couple bottles of Dr. Good Gypsies. Oh, shit! What's going on up there, Steve? As my brother always says, anything can happen to the World Wrestling Federation, and that was someone screaming!
It's okay. We've got him trapped. We must have. It's a dead end. He can't get out.
And with that, Rorschach leaps from Moloch's second floor window and to the ground below.
Oh! Get him! He's down!
Oh, no pain. Now get up. Must get up. Been framed. Who the hell has done this to me? You are hurting me. Get up quick, Jack, get up.
And with that, one of the police members lands a swift kick to Rorschach's face.
Ugh.
You like that, you goddamn queer?
Oh.
No problem. Boy, he stinks. Is that aftershave?
Oh no! No, damn it! No! Do you realize what you've done, you son of a bitch?
Hey, his shoes. They got pads. They're up as elevator shoes.
And with that, Rorschach's mask is removed to reveal the conspiracy theorist sign-holding guy we've seen throughout the episode.
That is my face! Give it back! Give it back, for God's sake!
Well, who is he? That some bitch?
Who is he? This little Zero is the terror of the underworld, and we're gonna lock him up with him. It's karma, man. Everything evens out eventually. Everything balances. And
Is
with
it the
that,
Bell palsy with his face? Sorry.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the end of Chapter 5. Rorschach has been captured. What will happen in Chapter 6, Greg?
Any number of things could happen in Chapter 6, Nick. We might even find out the fate of Rorschach's mental health.
PlayStation's JT Rosero and Chad Campbell here. We want to let you know that we have a ton of great podcasts available to you on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and PlayStation.com, and we offer those to you on 3 great feeds. On the Place to Be Nation Wrestling feed, we bring you the Mothership, the original Place to Be podcast, as well as Main Event, Lucha Afterground, and our monthly pay-per-view reaction shows, as well as the Our Vantage Point podcast and Jeff Learns Wrestling. In addition to these full-length shows, we also deliver quick-hit pod blasts on topics old and new.
Over on the Pro Wrestling Only feed, we dive deep inside the wrestling business with a stacked army of experts leading the way. The feed features potpourri shows such as This Week in Wrestling, Greetings from Allentown, Psychology is Dead, Puro Potpourri, Stacy and Elliot's Bogus Journey, and the Military Industrial Suplex. We also have shows that focus intently on certain topics like Letters from Center Stage, Space City, and NWA Classics On Demand Adventure, Through the Years, Strong Style History, Strong Style Story, and Mount Olympus. Plus, the feed has the full archives of legendary shows like Titans of Wrestling, Where the Big Boys Play, Letters from Kayfabe, and much more. And on our popular Place to Be Nation Pop podcast feed, we offer such great shows as the Glenn Butler Podcast Hour Spectacular, Rank and File, PTBN Dadcast, Go Home in a Box, NBA Team, and Lucha Undead, as well as a veritable podcast heaven for comics fans with the Hard-Traveling Fanboys, Sellers Points, Todd Weber's Conversation, Geek and Sassy, and Imaginary Stories podcasts.
You can find all of these current shows plus archives of our past podcasts, including The Kevin Kelly Show, as well by subscribing to all of our feeds on iTunes, and while there, be sure to rate and leave feedback as well. All of these shows, plus others, available on PlacementNation.com, where we cover pro wrestling, sports, movies, comics, plus in-depth stretch projects and more. Be sure to support our site by using PlacementNation.com/Amazon when shopping online, and download our free PTB Vintage Vault Refresh ebooks via the links on our site. We also want to thank our friends at Bonehead's Wing Bar in West Warwick, Rhode Island, and Fall River, Massachusetts, TheHistoryOfWrestling.com, and Scott Keats' Blog of Doom. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Tumblr as well. PlacementNation.com, the only place to be in your pop culture world.
Welcome back. Welcome back after that conclusion to the thrilling Chapter 5, where we told you Rorschach is now in custody. What is going to happen to him? And my compatriot Greg here teased him in having involvement with a certain mental health professional. Let's check in with that mental health professional now as we kick off Chapter 6 of our story.
From the notes of Dr. Malcolm Long, October 25th, 1985. Okay, now, I guess you know what this is. First interview with Kovacs. He's even more disturbed than I'd heard, but I'm optimistic. A success here can make my reputation. I want you to look at it and tell me what you see. He's very withdrawn, with no expression in either face or voice. Getting a response is often difficult. Will you just look at it, Walter? Will you do that for me? I know it's small and hairy, but what of it? Physically, he's fascinating and ugly. I could stare at him for hours, except that he stares back, which I find uncomfortable. He never seems to blink. Nevertheless, I'm convinced I can help him. No problem is beyond the grasp of a good psychoanalyst, and they tell me I'm very good. Good with people. Good with baseball players, even. Good with baseball bats, even. Well, Walter, what is it? What can you see?
A character babyface.
His responses to the Rorschach blog test were surprisingly bright and positive and healthy, even though very damn short, like his penis. I really think he might be getting better. I just wish he wasn't so intense. I just wish he wouldn't stare at me like that, like he's longing for me or something. His full name is Walter Joseph Kovacs, born 1940. His mother's name, Sylvia Joanna Kovacs, formerly Sylvia Glick. His father's name is unknown. Might be Trevor. Let's try another, shall we? He's 5'6" tall and weighs 140 pounds for his age. He's in excellent physical shape, despite a lot of bruises and lacerations, mostly sustained during his arrest. How about this one? The police have beaten on him pretty badly. During the police strike in '77, he made several inflammatory anti-cop statements, and they'd never forgotten. Come on, Walter, do it for me, huh? The cops don't like him. The underworld doesn't like him. Nobody likes him. I've never met anyone quite so alienated. How on earth did it get like this? Walter? Good. That's very good. Okay, Walter, now I want you to tell me what's on the card. Tell me what you see.
And as Rorschach stares at the ink blot, he drifts back to his childhood, remembering two bodies pressed together, their skin rubbing in unseemly ways that disturbed the young boy, and his mother making certainly some unique sounds.
You know, it occurs to me, this purple mattress, it passed the raw egg test. Now, we'll see if it can withstand the raw dog test. What do you say, baby?
Ow! Oh, God. Oh, baby.
Oh. Did I fart?
Yes.
Did I fart in your mouth? Oh.
Oh, yes. Oh, not so fast. Oh.
And then what they don't see, these two lovers embraced, making the body, the beast that has two backs. They do not see young Rorschach walking into the room and staring wide-eyed at the sight before him.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
You can smell my fart. I like to do that. That's right. That's right. What is this?
Oh, God.
Baby, you didn't tell me you had no kids around here.
It's my son. Look, really, it doesn't matter. Let's...
Oh, God. Who needs it? Kids creeping around everywhere. Johnny gets enough of this shit at home.
Oh, baby, please, listen. He's kind of backwards. Don't get mad.
Look, forget it. Here's $5. Worth more than you are. Clean yourself up with it.
$5? You lousy bastard. Don't you dare walk out on me. Don't you dare.
Out of my way, retard.
Mama, I'm sorry. I thought he was hurting you, breaking you in half. He was touching your butt, Mom. I was worried about him sending you straight to heck. I thought...
And with that, Mrs. Kovacs reaches back and slaps young Rorschach hard across the face. So hard, in fact, it causes part of his face to become partially paralyzed.
You little shit.
Ooh-ah!
You know what you just cost me, you ugly little bastard? I should have listened to everybody else. I should have had the abortion.
Oh, Mama. Oh, why you say that to me, Mama? Quite frankly, I don't understand. Tell me why you didn't send me the Cowboys this weekend, Mama. I went down to the store.
And with that, we will move away from Rorschach's past with his whore of a mother, back to the future with a mental health professional with certainly a unique voice.
Well, Walter, what do you make of it?
You know, that's a real interesting question. People have been contacting me through the Q&A portion of the world's loneliest website, RorschachsBarbecue.com, and they've been asking me, hey Rorschach, what do you think about this drawing? And it's real simple. I see Dr. Death, I see Danny Hodge, I see Stone Cold locked in an embrace, and they're all carrying some nice flowers.
Wonderful. Walter, I'm very pleased with your responses this afternoon. I want you to know that. I really think there's hope, Walter. Don't you? Well, okay, Walter. I think that's enough for today. The guards will take you back to your quarters now. I'll see you tomorrow.
And with that, Rorschach is led away by the prison guards back to his cell. As he walks back there, he walks down a long corridor where many prisoners begin to shout angry obscenities at him.
Hey, Rorschach, you fucking whore. You dead, man.
Yeah, but you're gonna be our woman first, Rorschach! How'd you like that?
Gonna cut you, sissy. Gonna hold you down and peels you like a grape.
Rorschach.
You're gonna beg. You're gonna make in your graves, man. I don't even know what that means.
Stick it in till you screams. Cut your throat, Rorschach. You're dead, Rorschach.
You're uglier without the mask, Rorschach.
You got a mother? She's dead. You got kids? They're dead. A sister? Dead.
Makes you bleed and bleed and bleed, Rorschach.
You got a dog? It's dead.
And bleed and bleed and bleed.
Cold meat, cold meat, cold meat, Rorschach.
Hate you, Rorschach.
Bones you like a fish, and then I'll cut your tongue out, shove it up your...
Rorschach.
And your mouth like Tutti Frutti, and then I'll...
Dead fucking whore, Rorschach.
Into rags, then tie it around your eyes, then I'll...
Rorschach!
Sooner or later, Rorschach.
Stink, Rorschach.
Officer clothes, rolls in your broken Pepsi bottles, and bleed you and bleed, bleed and bleed.
And as Rorschach and this uniquely voiced mental health professional have this conversation, Rorschach remembers, with a tear in his eye, another traumatic memory from his childhood.
Man, talking to you, right?
Yeah, what's the matter? You deaf or what?
I have to go get something from the store for my mother.
I got something I can give you, Mama.
Sure, why not? Everybody else does. Way I hears it.
Man, is that right, kid? Is your mama hooer?
Sure she is. Gonna fix this up with her, ain't that right, Wilson?
Hey, let me by. I have to go to...
Man, you don't have no place to go.
Wilson.
And with that, one of the bullies takes a glass bottle, and smashes it into young Rorschach's face. Very despicable.
Man, look at him. Probably got cooties. Probably got diseases.
Look at him, nothing. Just smell him, Wilson. Got any diseases, Wilson? Wilson. Ought to give the little bastard an examination.
Man, you could have all kinds of diseases, Orson. Like in the army. My dad says that. Okay, Orson? Get your pants down. We're gonna give you a little tiddlywink and examination.
Hey, Richie, watch him. He's...
Huh? You little son of a...
And with that, Rorschach grabs the bully's lit cigarette, and shoves it into his eye.
Ah! Fuck you, Charlene. Oh, fuck you.
Oh, God, look at that filthy little animal. Look, he's... Okay, that's enough. That is enough.
Oh, pull him off. Pull him off.
Oh, God, oh, no.
Rorschach bites the second bully's face. He's having to be held back by these adults. Hold his arms! Like an animal, like a mad dog, quite frankly.
Ought to be locked up. See him biting that?
Blame the parents, in my opinion.
Exactly, like a mad dog.
In 1951, he attacked an older child, partially blinding him with a lighted cigarette. He was 10 years old. Once his home life had been investigated, he was removed from his mother's custody and put into care. Away from her, he seemed to improve. Excelling at schoolwork, Kovacs grew into a bright but unusually quiet child.
Mal?
Even in 1956, when informed of his mother's brutal murder, he restricted his comments to one word: good.
Mal, dear, it's late. Are you done with the Rorschach case yet?
Not Rorschach. Walter Kovacs. Rorschach's an unhealthy fantasy personality. You know, he wouldn't even answer to anything else during his bail hearing.
On the news, he sounded frightening. It's just, terribly frightening. Please don't get too wrapped up in this, Mal. It might ruin your cheerful disposition that I love about you so much.
Gloria, I'm too fat and contented for anything to ruin my disposition. Although some of the stuff about his early life, like fantasies about killing others and old, crusty women, fantasies about a father he never knew.
Oh, shh, honey, please, just leave it at the office. You've got a nice life. I've got a nice life, and nobody else matters. Not anybody, just us.
I guess not. It's just that he's withdrawn and depressed, and I really feel I can guide him out of it.
Well, honey, I know if anybody can, it's definitely you. You're the nicest, most positive person that I know, and that's why you gotta look after yourself. I mean, are you sure that you're even fucking safe with this Kovacs guy?
Don't worry. While he's at Sing Sing awaiting trial, he's under heavy guard. He's no threat. Not anymore.
Well, let's hope not. I mean, come on, forget work. It is a beautiful night, and let's see if we can make that last forever.
And now we find ourselves back in the room of the prison once again with psychiatrist Dr. Long and his prized patient, Walter Kovacs, a.k.a. Rorschach.
Good morning, Walter. Today, I'd like Damn, I was just up way too late last night, watching scrambled porn. Sorry, late night. Today, I'd like to do something different. Frankly, Walter, I'd like to talk about Rorschach. Will you do that for me, Walter? Will you tell me about Rorschach?
Oh, Walter, huh? Oh, Walter. I like that joke better when Henny Youngman told it in 1942. You keep calling my ass Walter. I don't like you.
You don't like me? Alright, well, I don't know what the hell I just said, but whatever. Why is that, exactly?
Fat. Wealthy. You think you understand pain. But I'll tell you something. I know pain. I'm friends with pain. And pain can't beat Kurt Angle. Now, can you argue with that? Can you disagree with that? No. Hell no. Doctor, I'll tell you something about Rorschach. 1956. Age 16. Worked for the Fullers. Gulf Coast Championship Wrestling. Left children's home. Became an unskilled manual worker. Garment industry. I'm sorry. I misspoke. Job was bearable, but unpleasant. Had to handle female clothing for the great Judy Martin. 1962. Special order for a dress and new Dr. Manhattan spinoff fabric. Viscous fluids between two layers. Latex. Heat and pressure sensitive. Like a Casper mattress. Customer's a young girl. Italian name. Never collected an order. Gordon Soley used to say, she looked ugly. Wrong. Not ugly at all, Gordon. Black and white. Moving. Changing shape, but not mixing. No gray. Shades of gray. Not a character baby face, not a heel, but somewhere in the middle, and it drew money. Very, very beautiful. Nobody wanted it. Meant for me. Took it home. Learned to cut it. Sorry, I had something in my eye there. Learned to cut it using heated implements to reseal the latex. When I had it cut enough, it didn't look like a woman anymore. Looked like Cowboy Bill Watts. I don't know why. Maybe I'll need to see another psychiatrist about that, but that's neither here nor there. Soon, I became bored. Fabric had no use. Left it in the trunk. Forgot about it. 2 years passed, and a lot can happen in 2 years. Let me tell you what happened between 1985 and 1987 in the UWF/Mid-South Wrestling. Business was booming in 85. 2 years later, we were out of business, sold to the Crockett's, and it was one of the worst damn things to ever happen to this industry. Hated working for Turner. Anyway, March 1964, Watts is about 20 years old at this point, stopped at a newsstand on my way to work, bought a paper. There she was, front page, the woman who'd ordered that special dress. And you know what her name was? Just go and take a guess what her name was. I'll tell you what her name was. Before you even tweet at me, her name was Kitty Genovese. Raped, tortured, killed, just like Austin's very soul at the hands of Triple H. Here in New York, outside her own apartment building, almost 40 neighbors entered my ass. Nobody did anything. Nobody called the cops. Some of them even watched. Do you understand what that's like? To have somebody watch such an act? Some of them, I knew. I knew what people were then. Behind all the evasions, all the self-deception. Ashamed for humanity, I went home. I took the remains of her unwanted dress and made a face I could bear to look at in the mirror, for God's sake.
A face? I see. Walter, is what happened to Kitty Genovese really proof that the whole of mankind is rotten? I think you've been conditioned with a negative worldview. There are good people too, like...
Oh, like you?
Me? Oh, well, I wouldn't say that.
Oh, no, you wouldn't say. You just think. You think you're good people. Oh, good people. That's all I hear, but good people. Well, why the hell are you spending so much time with me, Doctor?
Well, because I care about you, and because I want to make you well.
Other people down in cells, their behavior is more extreme than mine. I mean, what about Paul Heyman? Extreme behavior on his part. What about Billy Jack Haynes? I admitted at some point in this broadcast that he murdered a man. Two men, actually. Two boys. Allegedly. You don't spend any time with them. You're up here with good old Rorschach. Good old J.R. Shack, in fact. But then they're not famous. Not like me. They won't get your name in the journals. They won't get your name in Pro Wrestling Illustrated. They won't get your name in The Wrestler with Stu Sachs, Bill Apter. You don't want to make me. Well, you just want to know what makes me sick. Well, you know what's sick? Triple H's ass is sick. And he's cost Austin the title one too many times. You're going to find out. You better have patience, Doctor. You're going to find out.
From the notes of Dr. Malcolm Long, October 26, 1985. That was the golden era of the Braves, I might add, playing in the illustrious Fulton County Stadium. Of course, what we have here is a classic case of misdirected aggression. Kovacs hated his mother. After her death, he needed somewhere to put the anger, so he chose the criminal fraternity. The flimsy story about Kitty Genovese is obviously there to justify his behavior to himself. It's perfectly simple. Case solved. You'll find out. I wonder what he meant. Later, the deputy warden just called. Apparently, Kovacs was involved in an incident today, just after he'd seen me. It happened during lunch, in the canteen.
Rorschach. Hey, Rorschach. You're pretty famous, right? Orson. Boy, you know, I'd like your autograph. I got my autograph book right here in my pocket. It's notched up quite a few famous names over the years. And I'd sure like to add yours to the list, along with your kiss.
Hey, Orson, don't touch. What are you doing?
And with that, Rorschach grabs a hot fryer of grease from behind the cafeteria line and flings it onto this hapless prisoner, who makes quite a unique sound.
Guards intervened, dragging Kovacs away to solitary and the other man to the prison hospital. According to the deputy warden, his burns were horrific, just like Terry Pendleton's batting average in some World Series that I've forgotten all of a sudden. Hot cooking fat. I don't like to think about it. As they dragged him away, Rorschach spoke to the other inmates. He said, "None of you understand. I'm not locked up in here with you. You're locked up in here with me." My earlier optimism was obviously unfounded. He's getting worse. So am I. Just read back what I've written above. This sixth line down should read, Kovacs spoke to the other inmates. Kovacs, not Rorschach.
Mal, you're never going to sleep with all that coffee inside of you.
Oh, hi, Gloria. Actually, I wasn't planning on sleeping just yet. I haven't even masturbated yet. This Kovacs case, you know, requires a lot of attention.
Well, remember last night, Mal? You know, when I required a lot of attention?
Gloria, please. Then was then. Now is now. And frankly, I think it's unfair of you to bring up sex when you know I need to work.
Oh, well, maybe I just sometimes need you to notice how often you bring up work when I know just need sex, like good sex, like actually have sex, meaningful, deep, with my spouse sex. Good night, Mal. Just forget it.
Wait, Gloria, what do you mean? Come back here. We can talk this through. I'm erect. I'm ready. I'm ready to go. Like the Braves were in 1994 for the World Series. You're locked up in here with me, he said. He's right. Absolutely right.
And once again, we find ourselves back in that holding room at the prison. Once again with Rorschach and noted mental professional Dr. Skip Long.
All right, Roar. All right, Walter. This afternoon, I want to pick up where we left off. After the murder of Kitty Genovese, you decided to vent your hostility upon the Wonderworld. Making a mask for yourself, you decided to become Rorschach and...
Oh, don't be stupid. I wasn't Rorschach then. Back then, I was just Kovacs. Kovacs pretending to be Rorschach. It's kind of like when you put on a mask And the great Jerry the King Lawler no longer was Jerry the King Lawler. He put on a mask and became the masked superstar. In fact, that wasn't him at all. That was some other guy, but that's another story for another time. He was always Jerry the King Lawler. The point that I'm getting to, stick with me, folks, the point that I am trying to make right now, Josh, is that being Rorschach takes a certain kind of insight. Back then, just thought I was Rorschach. That was before I understood psychology, ring psychology. I picked a body part and I worked it. Very naive, very young, very soft. But you know what? Fat looks better brown than white.
Soft? How do you mean soft?
Well, soft on scum. Soft just like Mr. Clean cleaning products, which can be purchased at a local grocery store near you. I use them all the time around the JR Shack quarters. Now, you're too young to know any better. I was too. I mollycoddled them. I always told Austin, I said, Austin, the one thing you cannot do as a top star in this business, Steve, you cannot mollycoddle. You can't mollycoddle The Undertaker, you can't mollycoddle Mick Foley, and you damn sure cannot mollycoddle The Rock. You gotta let them live.
As opposed to Mr. Jacoby and the other murders you're charged with, presumably? Well, looking at your file, and it's a pretty thick one, I might add. There's no record of serious violence against criminals before 1975.
Like I say, soft. Soft and flabby. Hadn't realized the stakes we were playing for back then. All of us, me and my friends, every single damn one of us was soft and flabby and fat. But it was the 70s.
You mean you have friends?
Well, Kovacs had friends. Other men in costumes. You don't make too many friends in this business. You can get into this business to do two things. Make friends or make money. I wanted to make money. But all Kovacs ever was a man in a costume. He wasn't Rorschach. Wasn't Rorschach at all. In 1965, worked with Night Owl to bring street gangs under control. I worked with Making a Difference Fatu to bring some of these gangs under control. Then tackled Big Figure. We did that together. We brought down Bad Luck Fale together. We had a good team. And he got soft, just like the rest of them. He said, oh, why don't you quit the company? They keep making fun of you and humiliating you. And I said, that's not what I was taught. I was taught you show blind loyalty to the company that signs your paychecks, even when they don't sign your paychecks any longer. And then he quit. No staying power, no drawing power. Nothing like Watts, nothing like Austin. None of them. Except the comedian. Met him in 1966. Pretty good fella, fair, forceful personality. Didn't care if people liked him. He had kind of an attitudinal approach to life. Uncompromising. Hell, I admired that. Of all of us, he understood the most about the business, about the world, about people even. He knew how to connect with an audience. Society and what's happening to it, he got all of that. Things everyone knows in your gut. Things everyone is too scared to face, too polite to talk about. He understood this shit. Understood man's capacity for horrors, and he never quit. He saw the world's black underbelly, and he never surrendered. Once a man has seen, he can never turn his back on it. Never pretend that it doesn't exist. You think it's fake. How do you learn to fall off a 20-foot ladder? That's what I want somebody to explain to me. How do you learn to fall off a 20-foot ladder? You can't. You can't do it because it's not fake. It is an athletic endeavor, and you do well to treat it as that. No matter who orders him to look the other way, we do not do this thing because it is permitted. We do it because we have to. We do it because we are compelled to throw people down elevator shafts.
From the notes of Dr. Malcolm Long, October 27th, 1985. His last words today were, "We do it because we are compelled." But he never says what it is that compels him. It's not his childhood, his mother or Kitty, Genovese. Those things just made him overreact to the injustice in the world. They're not what sent him over its edge. They're not what turned him into Rorschach. It's as if continual contact with society's grim elements have slept him into something grimmer. Something even worse. If only I could convince him that life isn't like that. The world isn't like that. I'm positive it isn't. Bought a Gazette on my way home, including a small piece about Kovacs, which the news vendor pointed out excitedly. I guess he does that to everybody. Apparently, Kovacs visited his newsstand regularly. The coincidence is trivial but unsettling. So is the front page. Russian tanks have entered Pakistan. On 7th Avenue, someone had sprayed silhouette figures onto the wall. It reminded me of the people disintegrated at Hiroshima, leaving only their indelible shadows. At home, Gloria seemed anxious to sweeten things after yesterday and told me she's invited Randy and Diana to dinner tomorrow. Was too exhausted to take in all the details and suggested an early night. From the notes of Dr. Malcolm Long, October 28, 1985. Today, he told me everything. Hello, Rorschach. How are you today?
In Norman, Oklahoma. Yourself?
Fine. I'm fine, I guess. I thought we'd try some more blood tests, you know. How about taking a look at this one for me?
Now, hang on a second. We got a guest coming in here right now. Hey, Terry, what the hell are you doing here? Hey, Rorschach, you egg-sucking dog. I've seen this one before.
Yes, I know. I thought you might have been holding back before, and I wanted to try it again. Go on. Tell me what you really see.
All right, I'll tell you. I see a dog. I see the big dog, Roman Reigns, with his head split in half.
I see. And, what do you think split the dog's head in half?
Well, I mean, that's my opinion. That's a matter of perspective. I mean, some could look at that and say it could have been anybody. Could have been my broadcast partner, Josh Barnett, at Josh L. Barnett. Could have been anybody. Could have been the man down the street. Could have been Watts. Could have been Austin. Could have been Dr. Death. They called him that for a reason. But in this case, I got to say, in my opinion now, this is my opinion, I think I did it. I think I split the dog's head right in half.
$1975 kidnap case. Perhaps you remember Blair Roche, 6 years old. You know, kidnappers believed she was connected to Roche Chemical Fortune. Well, that was a stupid mistake. Daddy was a bus driver. Didn't have no money at all. And you know what happens when you don't have any money, folks? You get sad. And when I'm sad, I like to go to cowboysforangels.com. It's the greatest website for a pick-me-up I've ever encountered. You know, I remember one time Barry Windham hired a prostitute from Cowboys for Angels, took him out on the town, took him to a hotel room, and ravished him. And it was the greatest night of my life. And I tell you that to tell you, go to Cowboys for Angels, and it will pick you up from any kind of situation. Maybe you've had a bad day at work. Maybe you watched Kenny Genovese get murdered in an alleyway. Well, what better way to take that off your mind? Excuse me, what better way to take that off your mind than to go to cowboysforangels.com? Folks, it just makes sense. With all that being said, I didn't like it. The days dragged by, no word from the kidnappers. I thought of that little child, abused, frightened, and cared for personal reasons. Cowboy had his way with me one time, and it stuck in my mind. And I thought about that little child being in that same position that I was in with Cowboy. Now, granted, he had a strict but firm hand, but some children may not like that. So I decided to intervene. I promised the parents I would return her unharmed. Visited the underworld bars and began hurting people, not unlike Jack once hurt me. I put 14 in the hospital needlessly. 15 gave me an address. Disused dressmakers in Brooklyn. Now, some people have said that's a bad neighborhood. I don't agree with that. Now, I think that a bad neighborhood is all about your perception, folks. Go out there and do something nice for somebody. Send someone away with a happy time, and you'll be happy too. Now, having said this was a bad neighborhood, I admit it. Smelled of damp plaster and stained mattresses. Stained with what? Well, that's a great question, folks. I think it may have been stained with some of the delicious food from Blue Apron. Now, my wife and I have been using Blue Apron for years now. Rorschach and Mrs. Rorschach, we've been using this Blue Apron thing, and I gotta say, I've lost 14 pounds in the last 2 weeks eating Blue Apron. The food tastes like shit, but it's healthy. It's packed with sodium, folks. And if there's one thing that I've been saying, I told Captain Metropolis this, I told the comedian this, hell, I even told Dan Dryberg this. If you eat Blue Apron, you may die of a massive heart attack, but you'll be thin. And that's what's most important, folks. So go to Blue Apron. You'll get all the fresh ingredients, by God, delivered to your door every day. Delivered in a way that will stain your mattress just like the semen-stained mattresses of this neighborhood. Anyway, I arrived there at dusk. No lights in the building. Something was making a noise in the wasteland at the rear. Speaking of the rear, my rear often makes noise after I eat food that isn't from BlueApron.com. Go to Blue Apron and their website, BlueApron.com, presumably, and order some of their fresh ingredients. My God almighty, your digestive system will thank you. Attack dogs. 2 German shepherds fighting over a knob of bone. Didn't seem interested in me. More interested in Austin. Can't say blamed him either. He was the biggest star in this industry, and some fella signed him to a contract. Don't know who that might have been. Whoever he was, probably a pretty good fella. Probably decent. Probably fair. Probably not bad. Probably not the worst thing in the world. Anyway, decided not to use the rear entrance. Went through the front like respectable visitor. And I don't know what the hell a funt is, people. I've been hearing this term, funt. Now, I go to Twitter and I say, oh, what's the hot term right now? Funt. It's front, for God's sake. Say front like you mean it. That being said, I was a respectable visitor to this place, and so I figured, what the hell?
As Rorschach has been narrating the story to Dr. Long, his mental health professional, we have seen the flashback. We can see what Rorschach is seeing. We see him searching this dilapidated building. Inside, he finds a furnace, and when he opens the furnace, in the ashes at the bottom is a piece of child's clothing. He continues to search the building, finding knives and a cutting board with fresh grooves in its surface. He looks at the dogs through the window, fighting over that same knob of bone he mentioned earlier. He picks up the butcher knife and walks towards the dogs with a sinister purpose.
Oh, the shock of the impact ran along my arm. Jet of warmth spattered on my chest, just like Barry Windham's chest covered in semen. It was Kovacs who said mother then, muffled under latex. It was Kovacs who closed his damn eyes. It was Rorschach who opened them again, thinking once again of Barry Windham's bosom covered in semen. A little bit of fecal matter. According to my informant, a man using the premises named Gerald Briscoe, out drinking when I called, returned to dressmakers at 10:45. Dark by then. Quite frankly, you might say it's as dark as it gets.
And at that point, Rorschach begins to hide, goes off to hide in the building, waiting for Mr. Briscoe to return home from washing Mr. McMahon's car. Once the job is done, Mr. Briscoe walks around the corner looking for his beloved dogs.
Hell, Fred, Barney, I'm home. Come on, who's got a bark for Daddy?
Mr. Briscoe gets no response, but he enters his home and begins to look around. He notices that something appears to be just off. He enters the room with the cutting board, and it seems as if things have been disturbed somewhat. And at that moment, the dead body of one of his beloved animals comes crashing through the window and onto him.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Who is it? Is it Mr. McMahon? Who's out there? Is there a great big fat person? I haven't done nothing. I swear
Just then, the second dog carcass is thrown straight through the back door, the previously mentioned rear entrance to the building.
Get off! Somebody get it off me!
With this, Mr. Briscoe looks up to see the figure of Rorschach standing above him.
Oh no! Oh please! I haven't done anything! Oh what? Please! Please, what are you going to do?
Rorschach grabs Mr. Briscoe and backs him up against the furnace, slapping handcuffs on him and attaching the other end to one of the furnace pipes.
Look, I know what you think. You think I'm something to do with that little girl? Well, I'm not. Okay. Oh, God, please. What do you want? You can't prove nothing. I mean, where's the evidence? You can't do anything to me.
Rorschach re-enters the room holding a hacksaw and stares at Mr. Briscoe on the floor.
Hey, now, wait a minute. That's mine. What is it? You're giving this to me? Just put the fucking lotion in the basket. Is that it? Look, please, if you just say something, that's not lotion, that's kerosene.
Oh, yeah. You ought not bother trying to saw through those handcuffs. Now, let me tell you something. I know handcuffs. I've been friends with handcuffs. And you can't break those handcuffs. Now, can you disagree with that? Can you argue that? Hell no. Never make it in time.
What do you mean? What am I supposed to... Oh, God. Oh, Jesus, God. No, you're kidding me. I've seen this damn movie. Oh, God. You've got to be kidding me.
And with that, Rorschach lights a book of matches and drops them into the puddle of kerosene on the floor of the building.
Yeah! Stood in the street, watched it burn. Imagine limbless felt torsos inside, breasts blackening and glistening with the oils of 1,000 scented candles, bellies smoldering with goat's meat, bursting into flame one by one. I watched for an hour. Nobody got out, except 3 individuals, 3 spirits that seemed to flutter out from the flame. Those 3 individuals were Steve Austin, Danny Hodge, and Steve Dr. Death Williams. Other than that, nobody got out. Stood in the firelight, sweltering, bloodstain on my chest, once again, like a map of the cum stains on Barry Windham's chest. Felt cleansed. Felt dark planet turn under my feet. And I knew what cats know that makes them scream like babies in the night. And what that is that one day cats won't be used for transportation. Because TrueCar.com is going to be used for transportation. Folks, if you are looking to get from point A to point B, why the hell do you want to go to point C for? Get a car from TrueCar.com that'll take your ass from point A to point B just as quick as a hiccup, folks. Now, have you ever tried to pour lightning through a keyhole? Maybe like that wrestler Will Ospreay. Quicker than lightning through a keyhole? Well, that's what happens when you go to TrueCar and you try to order a car. Let's say I want to order a 1967 Mustang convertible. TrueCar will get it for you. And they'll get it for you in a day, folks. Now, just tell them good old JR sent you. Put in the code. You'll get 10% off your first rental. Now, what's 10% off of $10 million? Hell if I know. But what I'm saying is it is the best option available to you if you're trying to travel. Speaking of traveling, I felt like traveling because I realized what those cats knew. I looked at the sky through smoke heavy with human fat that was covered in delicious JR's barbecue sauce. Now, main event mustard may be your bag. For me, I prefer the barbecue sauce because you slather it on there. Maybe put a little main event mustard on top of it. Or what about the chipotle ketchup? Or even the mid-card mustard? Mix it all together, and you've got one hell of a bit of human fat. Anyway, God wasn't there. The cold, suffocating dark goes on forever, folks, and we're alone. Live our lives lacking anything better to do. Devise reason later. Born from oblivion, bear children, hell-bound as ourselves, go right back into oblivion, and my God, it's Cain! There's nothing else. Existence is random. Has no pattern, save what we imagine after staring at it for too long. No meaning, save what we choose to impose. Now, speaking of impose, folks, I want to know why more performers do not impose their will on their opponents. Pick a damn body part and work it. Take the arm and apply an armbar. I don't care, take the leg, put on a leg lock, do something to tell a story. The problem with this rudderless world that is not shaped by vague metaphysical forces is that you can't use physical forces to shape it. All you have to do is apply a hold, and the people will come, by God. They will invest in the story you are trying to tell. It is not God who is a character babyface who kills the children. It ain't fate that butchers them or destiny that feeds them to the dogs. It is us, only us, along with Destino by Tetsuya Naito. Streets stank of fire. The void breathed hard on my heart, turning its illusions to ice, shattering them. I was reborn then, free to scrawl my own design on this morally blank world. What was that design? Barry Windham with an individual from cowboysforangels.com. I was Rorschach. Does that answer your questions, Doctor?
Notice of Dr. Malcolm Long, October 28, 1985. Walked home along 40th Street. A black man tried to sell me a Rolex watch. I was like, what the fuck? When I kept walking, he started shouting, "Cracker! Hey, Cracker!" I ignored him. Bought paper. Russians claim that fighting spilling in Pakistan was accidental. Nixon says U.S. will meet continued Soviet aggression with maximum force. Oh yes! Inside, article on nuclear alert procedures. It says that any dead family members should be wrapped in plastic garbage sacks and placed outside for collection. On 7th Avenue, the Hiroshima lovers were still trying inadequately to console one another. Oh, Gloria reminded me that Randy and Diana were coming tonight. Put the cross when I confessed I'd forgotten. We dressed for dinner in silence. Dinner didn't go very well.
So, Mal, how are things going with this famous math maniac of yours?
Oh, yes, tell us. Has he told you anything weird or kinky yet?
Yes, he has. Today he told me about a girl who got kidnapped.
Look, maybe this isn't such a good idea right now.
Oh boy, was she tied up and gagged and helpless?
Randy!
No, she was 6 years old. Her abductor killed her, butchered her, and fed her to his German shepherds. Gloria, where are you going? Diana remembered that their babysitter had to be home early, and they left soon after dinner. Gloria went into the bedroom. I followed her. She walked out again into the hall. I sat on the bed. She came in, wearing her coat, subjected me to a lot of crude sexual insults, like my penis is too damn short. Went out. The front door slammed. Why do we argue? Life's so fragile. A successful virus clinging to a speck of mud, suspended in endless nothing. Next week, I could be putting her into a garbage sack, placing her outside for collection. I sat on the bed. I looked at the Rorschach plot. I tried to pretend it looked like a spreading tree, shadows pulled beneath it, but it didn't. It looked more like a dead cat I once found. The fat, glistening grubs with writhing blindly, squirming over each other, frantically tunneling away from the light. But even that is avoiding the real horror. The horror is this. In the end, it is simply a picture of empty, meaningless blackness. We are alone. There is nothing else.
And with that brings it in to Chapter 6 and the sad tale of Rorschach's influence over this poor mental health professional, who, as we all know, are worthless sons of bitches.
Yeah, it's really been an incredible ride we've taken to this point, and one has to wonder what Dr. Long's thoughts are on other topics of the day, such as Raphael Belliard or Mark Lemke, Ryan Klesko, perhaps.
Questions to which we may never have an answer, but we will answer other questions when we continue after this break with Chapter 7 of our tale.
Place to be Nation, it is me, the manager, Todd Weber, and I'm here to tell you all about a brand new show on the PTBN Pop feed. It's Talkin' Pop. Each month, hosts Jennifer Smith and Tim Capel discuss the hottest topics in pop culture along with their special guests. Funny, illuminating, and even sometimes a bit naughty, Talkin' Pop is our latest and greatest legendary Place to Be Nation podcast. So be sure to join Jenny and Tim every single month on Talkin' Pop. Proudly part of the PTBN Pop feed on iTunes, Stitcher, and PlaceToBeNation.com. The only place to be in your pop culture world.
And welcome back, folks. You know, we just saw a thrilling conclusion to Chapter 6 there, as we see just how warped Dr. Long has become after being in the presence of Rorschach. And now it's time to check in with a couple of other characters. Time to check on old Dan Dryberg and Laurie Jupiter and see what they're up to.
That's right, Nick. And right now we're opening on a scene where Laurie is walking around the Owl Cave, examining costumes, examining the ship, boarding the ship. She even pulls out a cigarette and presses a button on the console, causing the lights to go dark. She's essentially trying to look around while Dan Dryberg is hoping against hope that she'll give him some tootie.
Oh! Ha! Oh, okay. Now, where's the dash lighter? Ah. Yee!
Right now, a flame shoots out of the ship.
Laura, what the fuck is wrong with you? You down there fucking with my gimmicks again?
At this point, we see Dan flash back to Rorschach's words to him from some time ago. Maybe. Could be. Now, you have a right to that opinion. That is your opinion, and you have an absolute right to believe that. This is a free country the last time I checked. Or, now just hear me out here, and it's just not a crazy idea, maybe a weird idea for you. Maybe someone is picking off costumed heroes.
Oh, for fuck's sake, Laurie! Laurie, hang on, I'm coming, and it doesn't mean I'm headed down there either.
Comedian murdered. Dr. Manhattan exiled, for God's sake. Dr. Death dead. Few of us gone. All within a week. Who next? Fight? She told me I could call her Laurie. Me? Hell, could even be Cowboy Bill Watts. You?
Why?
At this point, there is a fire in the basement.
Fire extinguishers! Where the fuck are the fire extinguishers?
I keep them over here for bashing motherfuckers over the head with. What the hell happened? I thought you was down here not fucking with shit like I told you to.
Look, I'm really sorry. I was just poking around down here. I saw the lights on in the ship. See, I was looking for the dash lighter.
You know I don't fucking smoke. I prefer to do all mine through edibles. That was the fucking flamethrower.
Yeah, well, I know that now. Look, Dan, I'm really sorry.
I guess it's alright, but make no mistake, it's your fucking fault. I was down here checking out the systems earlier, but I left everything switched on when I went out to the store to pick up your damn booger sugar and 4 Locos. You sure you're not hurt?
Me? No, I'm fine. But look at your beautiful ship.
It is pretty fucking beautiful, isn't it? I spent quite a penny on that motherfucker. Sold a lot of gimmicks to pay it off. But oh hell, it's mostly just suit. It'll wipe off. It's had a lot worse shit all over that's wiped off, let me tell you that. Put a black light on this fucker and it looks like a goddamn Jackson Pollock painting. I'm just glad you're alright. Screamed, I thought, well, I thought you was down here playing with yourself. And then I thought maybe you was in trouble. You know, ever since the comedian died.
Oh, come on, Dan. You're not starting to take Rorschach's mass killer bullshit seriously, are you? I mean, he's fucking psychotic. To him, everything's a conspiracy.
Hey, let me tell you something about fucking conspiracies. The Macho Man Randy Savage believed everything was a conspiracy. He's probably the best damn worker to ever step in the goddamn ring, besides myself, of course. You know, the comedian murdered, John exiled, someone tries to shoot fucking Adrian, and Rorschach gets taken in by the Pokies. Just makes me feel a little uneasy.
Well, is that why you were tuning your ship?
Oh, no, nothing like that. I just come down here and masturbate a little bit every once in a while. Nothing serious.
We've got some wonderful stuff down here. It's like a magician's cave or something.
Oh, what, with all these fucking leaks and puddles? I wouldn't step in that puddle, by the way. There's no telling what the fuck that is. No, it used to seem like that back to me, you know, once upon a time, but I guess these days it's kind of an embarrassment now that I've moved up to the big time, you know, selling out Greensboro and Baltimore. It's, you know, not really worth it to be down here fucking around. Looking back, it all seems so, well, I mean, just a little goddamn childish. Just a school kid's fantasy that got out of hand, you know. That's, with some hindsight on reflection caused by psychedelic mushrooms.
Yeah, well, at least you were living out your own fantasies. For me, I was living out my mother's. You know, I'm really impressed by all this equipment. It must have cost a fortune. What's this cabinet over here?
Oh, that's my fucking gimmicks for my gimmick table. That's my 8x10s, my t-shirts, my bandanas, my fucking foam fingers. Those things go for quite a pop down at Greensboro. As for the money, I guess my dad, you know, he was in the banking industry. Left me a lot of money when he died. Not that I needed it, because I drew a bunch of fucking money in Puerto Rico and all over the goddamn planet, so I'm well off on my own. But I was kind of surprised that he left me a little bit. I mean, he always seemed disappointed, wanted me to be some kind of fucking straight man or something, wanted me to be in some boring-ass business. But I had a calling, goddammit. I was the best damn work you ever seen. I was just interested in being in the goddamn ring, feeling the people, feeling them come, you know.
Okay, what's this?
Oh, that ain't, that ain't nobody. That's just, the old, dusk woman I took out behind the line once or twice.
The Twilight Lady. She sent you her picture?
Yeah, well, I guess she did. She got sort of a fixation on old Dan. Now, oral fixation, if you know what I mean. She was a sick fucking woman. She let me do shit with dogs and penguins that you wouldn't fucking believe. I keep meaning to throw that goddamn picture away, but you know how it is. Sometimes you just need something to shoot your load on.
I see you have a lot of pictures of birds and stuff. That was my fantasy when I was a kid, to work with animals.
Yours too, huh? You and the fucking Twilight Lady have something in common. The animals. I don't know what the fuck it is. Not my thing, but whatever gets your rocks off, I guess. Me, I just like fucking birds, high flyers and shit. It's the idea of coming off the top rope. I guess that's why me and the old cowboy never got along. That dumb fuck. As a kid, I read about Pegasus and flying carpets and the killer bees and, all those kind of guys. And then later about birds and fucking planes. Especially that plane that Ric Flair fucking crashed in. Only I mastered in aeronautics and ring psychology at Harvard. You didn't even fucking know they had ring psychology at Harvard, did you? That's because I'm the only fucking graduate, because they looked at me in the class and decided nobody else was worthy of the goddamn degree. Guess it helped me design this old piece of junk over here.
Jalopy. That's a word I haven't heard in a long time.
Bitch, I didn't say anything about a goddamn jalopy. You need to lay off the booger sugar. You're starting to hear shit. Hell, you probably picked that up from that old fuck Hollis. Hollis was something else that influenced me as a kid. I idolized him. And when I say I idolized, it means I saw him on TV, knew I could do his gimmick 10 times better than he did, so I took the fucking thing. But I guess that's pretty obvious. Welcome aboard. You want to take a look around while I finish checking the ship out?
Sure, and don't worry. I won't touch anything this time.
Oh, fuck, I don't worry about much of anything. That flamethrower button confuses everybody. The comedian did the same thing back in 77.
Dan, I'm safely on board. You can let go of my hand now.
Well, if you just guide your hand over here to my crotchal region, I think we can get a little something going on. Oh, I'm sorry. That's the Four Loco talking once again. Listen, I gotta go check out the fucking other systems around here. You just sit your pretty ass down and take a look around.
I like this design. All curves and no corners.
Well, actually, I don't know anything the fuck about design. I'm kind of simple when it comes to that stuff, but from what I understand, having no corners helps make the ship radar invisible. One time I tried to work in a goddamn ring with no corners, and it's the toughest fucking thing you ever pulled off, a circular ring. But hey, was a lot of fun, and drew 12,000 people in the goddamn Mid-South Coliseum. Never seen anything like it in my godforsaken life.
Boy, you really have all this stuff figured out, don't you? What's this closet here?
Oh, that's my fucking ring attire. Got a little leopard print, got a little cheetah print. Pretty much any kind of big cat. That's what people like.
Hey, these are terrific. It's like when I was small. Mom got me these G.I. Joes with all these neat little spare uniforms. What's this green one?
Ah, that's my pussy-eating one. That helps you breathe when you've been down in the muff too long. Let's see here. Flamers functioning, water cannon functioning, public address system and screechers function, air-to-air missiles fucking functioning, fog screens for my entrance functioning.
Air-to-air missiles?
Oh, sure. Button right next to the fucking flamethrower. Fog screen functioning, radiation shields functioning.
That's it. That does it. No more smoking. I'm all through. I quit. I mean it this time. Talk about dangerous habits.
Electro systems functioning. Yep, everything's okay.
I already stopped a couple times before. It got so boring around the Rockefeller base. My willpower just never held out long. Probably won't this time either.
You're a fucking negative bitch, you know that? I mean, I had a dangerous habit once myself, but eventually it just gets old snorting cocaine out of Barry Windham's asshole.
You did? What happened?
Oh, I quit doing it, no problem. Can't snort coke when there's no more coke to snort. I mean, sure, at first I used to get cravings, and at first I wasn't sure if it was for the coke or for the smell of that man's poontang. But I held on in there. These days it hardly bothers me at all, except at night when I'm trying to sleep and all I can think about is the hair sticking out of his asshole.
You're talking about what we did, superhero stuff. You still miss any of that stuff?
Fuck no, just cinnamon, I guess. Come on, I'm finished down here. I'll take your rear exit anytime, so you get dirty crawling under Archie.
Archie?
Yeah, well, it's short for Archimedes. That old fuck Merlin's pet owl in Sword and Stone. You ever seen that movie? Pretty decent. Even better when you're getting blown through the top of a popcorn bucket. I saw the Disney version once, and it's just a stupid fucking nickname. Here's the exit. Watch your fucking step.
So you were really into all that knights and armor fantasy stuff as a kid?
I reckon, I guess it figures being a goddamn worker and everything. It was just it was an adolescent sexual thing.
Well, there's nothing wrong with adolescent romance or sexuality, although most people don't spend so much money getting it. I mean, this basement is enormous. Why not sell some of this old equipment and turn it into, I don't know, like a gym or something?
Bitch, let me tell you something. When you got a body like this, it comes naturally. You don't have to work at it. You just go out all night, work the towns, fuck the whores, and go out and beat the shit out of people in bars, and your muscles just develop. I mean, look at Zeke. Have you ever seen anything like it in your goddamn life? Now, I don't know why I hang on to all this stuff. I mean, I know the romance is over, but I guess I just don't have the heart to throw out all the gimmicks.
Oh, Dan, you sound like my maiden aunt Bella. So what got you into this business in the first place?
Well, I was just kind of fucking bored and started screwing around in my basement one day and figured out that I was better at it than anybody else on the face of the goddamn planet, and figured it would be a fucking disservice to the fans if I didn't get my ass in the ring. I mean, can you imagine this business without me? I'm the biggest star there's ever been. And also, like I said, that old fuck Hollis, I figured I could do his gimmick better than he could, and so I went up there, I slapped him right in the goddamn face, and I took it from him. So he retired when I was starting out, and I just told him that I was going to take his fucking gimmick after I beat his ass. So I remember visiting his garage that first time, and I walked up and just struck him right in the fucking face, and there he was, all slack-jawed and stammering, and started talking about stretching people and discipline and whatever other kind of bullshit he was talking. I didn't know what the fuck that old man was doing. I'm pretty sure he's got dementia or something, but it ain't none of my fucking business anymore. Anyway, being a worker, it's like a part of a brotherhood. The good brothers on the road, the brother love. I mean, you just gotta take care of your brothers, That's why I sort of regretted the Crime Busters falling through back in whatever fucking year it was. It would have been like joining the Four Horsemen, like joining, the York Foundation, being one of the part of the greatest stables of beings that ever existed in the fucking ring. But eventually I realized that I was above any kind of fucking stable, because I'm the biggest star there is, and everybody else would just be riding my goddamn coattails. And that's when I realized the comedian was right. All that stable crap, it's all dressed up with a lot of flash and thunder. And I'm not talking about thunder, it's just the regular kind of thunder. I mean, who needs all this fucking hardware to catch hookers? I catch hookers like it's going out of fucking style. They come beating at my door asking for a piece of this. And purse snatchers, don't even get me started on them. They show up, they're purse snatchers, and then I take me a little bit of their snatch. I mean, really?
So what's that?
That is a prototype exoskeleton. The first time I tried moving in it, it bent my dick to a right angle. Never again.
Jesus, that sounds like the sort of costume to really mess you up.
I mean, is there any other fucking sort? I mean, look at Rorschach, the condition that dumb bitch is in. He was normal once, sure he was quiet, but from what I understand, his mama slapped him so hard in the face, now half his face droops down and talks in that goddamn awful Okie accent. He was grim, but he still had the buttons on his overcoat. Then once I got started, he realized how screwed he was now that there was a true star in the business, and he held on to my coattails and helped me blitz the big figure. Tactically he was brilliant, but he had no charisma, couldn't work a gimmick to save his goddamn life. He was just so unpredictable. What I'm saying is he was rational and boring then, and now over the years, that mask and the drugs have eaten his goddamn brain cells and replaced them with fucking barbecue sauce.
Well, wasn't there anything good about those years? I mean, all those gadgets you designed. If it was me, I'd feel proud.
Proud? Goddamn right I'm proud. I'm proud of everything I've ever fucking done in my life. I'm proud of the shit I took 2 hours ago, which I'll show you, by the way. It is Brian Pillman-esque. I mean, it just curves around the goddamn toilet bowl. Damnedest thing I've ever seen. But anyway, have I ever shown you my goggles? Not beer goggles or Four Loko goggles. Actual fucking goggles. The kind you wear to the ring. Those gimmicks like whatever that redheaded bitch's name is, Becky Lynch or whatever. Those fucking steampunk looking things. I mean, if you like this sort of garbage, I guess it's pretty kitsch or camp or gimmicky or whatever.
Dan, don't be so self-deprecating. I was admiring those goggles earlier. The lenses are pretty dusty.
Well, you know what they say. Something about knocking the dust off your pussy or something like that. I don't know what the fucking saying is, but I'll knock that shit off anytime. They work best in darkness, so I'll kill the lights. I got this little console in my belt. Why don't you reach in there and touch the button?
So what else have you got in there? Chocolate rations, Boy Scout knife, Army issue contraceptives?
Contraceptives. Only sailors use fucking condoms, baby. No, it's mostly pretty boring. Respirator mask, smoke bombs, a fingerprint kit, a pocket rocket, this little console, the usual stuff. Now, if I snuff the lights in the ship's cabin and in the kitchen upstairs, it'll be dark, and I can get kind of handsy with you.
Ha! Show off. Hey, what do these goggles do? I can't say anything. Are they broken?
Fuck no, they're not broken. Ain't nothing of mine broken. It all works perfectly, as you're going to find out here in just a little bit. No flaws with me whatsoever. Now you just press here, rotate them a little bit like this, and as I remember, they work pretty good. No matter how black it got, which was a little unfortunate back in Atlanta in the day, when I looked through these goggles, everything was as clear as day.
Ooh. Dan, this is fabulous. This must be what it's like having powers. You know, special vision and like that. It must be so strange being John. He can see neutrinos.
I don't know what the fuck a neutrino is, but it's getting about screwing time. Let's head upstairs.
Okay, I'm all done playing with them anyway. Although, maybe I'll borrow them for Bell Horse Madison Square Garden concert in early November. They're kind of Devo.
Devo, what the fuck are you babbling about? Just a second, let me turn the lights on so I don't break my neck getting up here to get a crack of that ass.
Sure, Devo. Are We Not Men? Band from Ohio. Late 70s.
Oh, well, I don't know anything the fuck about that. I'm mostly into Rick Derringer and Rat and various other hair metal acts from the 80s. You know, people who do my fucking theme music. Do you miss that blue fucker?
John? No, although I keep thinking I should. I mean, he did have a large blue dick, but you see, even when I was with him, he was never really there. There was no real human contact, no physical contact. I was so lonely.
Oh, trust me, I know all the fuck about that. Sometimes you think about the never-ending parade of women behind the food line, the Four Locos, the Booger Sugar, all this shit you poured your life into. And sometimes, Laurie, I've just felt...
And like, it wasn't just that isolation. I used to work out in the gym a lot as a kid, all by myself, so lone's no big deal. I mean, take you for example. You like living here on your own, so... Dan, what are you doing?
Oh, fucking nothing. Just trying to keep my beautiful mane of pubic hair tight for our future encounter. Please, carry on with whatever the fuck it was you were babbling about.
Well, what I'm saying is that at Rockefeller, I got the bad side of isolation without the compensations, like privacy. There was nobody to talk to, but I'd always feel like I was under observation.
You don't fucking say.
It must be great for you, having a secret identity, a secret place nobody knows about. You can just come down here to hang out, and there's nobody checking up on you and nobody watching you.
Oh, no, I don't give a fuck about that. That creepy motherfucker Bill Apter's all the time trying to put a fucking camera lens up to every window in this goddamn place, trying to catch nude photos. You know, Playgirl has been after those fuckers for God knows how long. You know, these days I feel like the goddamn Macho Man. I feel like somebody's watching my every damn move.
Dan, you sound like J.R. Shack. This mass killer thing, it doesn't hold up. I mean, John left Earth of his own free will. J.R. Shack was caught red-handed committing murder, for God's sake. Where's the conspiracy?
Oh, for fuck's sake, I wasn't really thinking about a damn hood killer, but I don't know. That Rorschach murder thing sounded funny. He wouldn't just shoot on somebody, he was a real worker back in this day. Too fucking ordinary to shoot. Anyway, it's all about 6 o'clock observer time. How about a Four Loko?
Sure. Black as the devil and as sweet as a stolen kiss.
What the fuck are you babbling about?
No milk, 2 sugars. Polish folk saying. Oh, incidentally, did you see that package that arrived for me?
I didn't know you was a fucking Polak, but no, I didn't.
Just my clothes forwarded from Rockefeller, my old costume, stuff like that. Oh, yeah, and a letter telling me I don't have cancer. Hope you don't mind me using your address.
Oh, that's fucking fine. I get drugs dropped here, but under different names all the damn time. People use my address like crazy, so you just use it as long as you like. See, I'm not that solitary by inclination. I'm like that bullshit you was spewing earlier.
Well, I just don't want to get in the way of your work or anything. What is it that you do, actually?
What is it that I do? I'm a fucking worker. I'm the greatest damn hand there is in this business. Worked down south for Watts, as I told you before. Worked in Baltimore. How many times I gotta tell your ass this shit? I also sometimes contribute to old Dave. He's one of my buddies. My pieces appear in the Observer about once every 3 months.
Really? You do a lot of that?
At this point, Lori decides to turn on the television. The latest in a series of tenement fires allegedly designed to remove sitting tenants.
Oh, I don't do fucking much. I've kind of sat on my ass since last April. Besides, most people find The Observer pretty boring, I guess. They prefer PWI with the Apter and the 500 countdown. Which that motherfucker's never put me on one countdown. He can kiss my asshole.
Meanwhile, investigations into captured vigilante Rorschach are continuing.
Usually as soon as I mention the fucking Observer, folks sort of switch off and...
Shh! Today, police allowed news cameramen into the apartment used by Rorschach, real name Walter Joseph Kovacs. His landlady, Miss Dolores Sherp, described Kovacs as a, quote, Nazi pervert, end quote, and said that he'd frequently propositioned her sexually.
Ha! I knew it.
She pointed out stacks of right-wing literature, including back issues of the New Frontiersman. We asked Hector Godfrey, the Frontiersman's editor, if he had any comment.
Well, frankly, isn't it time we reassess Rorschach as a patriot and an American and a heterosexual and a man?
Did you see that room? I mean, was it gross?
Yeah, he's not going to be easy for a fucking wrestler's court to sympathize with. He better hope he don't get JBL or the Undertaker overseeing the proceedings. After all, you cannot anally rape the Undertaker.
Sympathize after he shoots a cop with a grappling hook gun?
Following a tense bail hearing, Kovacs awaits trial, pending psychiatric examination and titty residue.
Oh, don't fucking remind me. I'm the one who worked all his gimmicks up.
Dr. Malcolm Long, carrying out the examination, has his first interview with Kovacs this afternoon. He told pressmen he felt, quote, confident and optimistic, end quote.
I never fucking dreamed he'd shoot on anybody. What really worries me is him being in jail. He'll turn to the brother love and he may never come back. And those fuckers may kill him.
Yeah, well, things are tough all over.
Meanwhile, in Afghanistan, the fighting spreads. As the conflict moves closer to its borders, Pakistan today called on the U.S. to intervene.
Laurie, what the fuck is wrong with you? Do you not have enough booger sugar in your Four Loko? I went out to the store especially for your ass and met with my guy on the corner.
No, the Four Loko's fine, Dan. Does this sort of stuff on the news scare the hell out of you too, or is it just me?
Addressing Congress, President Nixon said that all Americans would consider her options. Thus, while Russia claims to be merely securing her borders, Western experts see only opportunistic hostility in the wake of Dr. Manhattan's departure.
I mean, is this just another false alarm, or has the big countdown finally started?
Oh, the big countdown, like in the fucking Royal Rumble. 10, 9, 8, 7, all that bullshit. During Hiroshima, Rick, I read an article back in The Observer with pictures. Had kids in the front row, kids up packed to the rafters. But the funny thing was, their kids' bodies and their skin was burned fucking black.
Ugh, Dan, don't.
Meanwhile, America's European military installations have been placed on full alert.
Sorry, it's just so fucking disturbing that when people have such fucking heat, they will be able to remain so cool and so goddamn apathetic.
Tom Brokaw at England's Greenham Commonwealth, women peace demonstrators were arrested in scuffles with police.
Me, I wish I could just split like John.
Alright, the old fucking Manhattan transfer. Hell of a finish. I actually thought it up and he stole it from my ass, but he wouldn't tell you that.
What? Manhattan transfer?
And throughout the world, there is tension with no signs of a breakthrough. Meanwhile, at home, police stopped searching for missing writer Max Shea, having failed to open any new lines of investigation.
Have you always called John's teleportation that?
Hell yeah, right to his fucking face. Slapped him after I said it too.
Alright, I'm back now, I apologize. Ladies and gentlemen, Shea, who wrote children's pirate comics before graduating to modern classics such as The Hooded Basilisk and Fog Dancing, vanished from his Boston home just 2 years ago.
Why, Mr. Dryberg, you're ravishing.
Fucking goddamn right I am.
While in New York, the Institute for Extraspatial Studies reports existing and maybe alarming possibilities for opening new dimensions.
No, but seriously, you look terrific without glasses. Now, if we could just do something about this stupid hair.
Hey, cut it the fuck out! The hair is part of the gimmick, bitch!
we spoke to the Institute's chief physicist, Dr. Ed Corey.
Oh, fuck, Lori. Please, I like it the way it fucking is. I don't want to look like fucking Devo or Flock of Seagulls or any of these other fuckers.
All right, thank you very much. We're very excited and expecting early success in our search for extra-dimensional energy sources.
You know your trouble. You're inhibited.
Inhibited? What the fuck are you talking about? Clearly you've never seen me go into town behind a fucking food line.
Well, I don't know. I see it in all kinds of ways.
Our activities are entering species we thought impossible.
And that's the world tonight. After the break, Adrian invites New York Astrodome charity performance.
Oh, fuck, Lori. Should I move? I mean, should I get on top, even though Watts told me never to do that shit?
Doobie-doobie-doo. Goulet here. Unforgettable. That's what you are. Oh, my darling, it's incredible. That underwear is sometimes edible. And think that I'm unforgettable, too.
At this point, Lori approaches Dan, kissing him, their tongues intertwining, their saliva exchanging bodies.
Nostalgia by Vite and Dick Pills for an unforgettable, edible under you.
Oh, Jesus, Lori, I knew it was just a matter of time before you'd come after this.
Shh. And now, in a repeat showing of last July's charity spectacular, we bring you Ozymandias himself, Adrian Veidt, at the New York Astrodome. Ladies and gentlemen, performing live in aid of the Indian famine appeal, we present Bread. The one and only Ozymandias fronting them.
Here, let me move around, my elbows pressing on your chest.
Oh, that's alright. I kind of like a little pain with my pleasure.
Ah, sorry to have missed my cue. I was busy singing to the music of Bread. Longer than any fishes in the ocean. I hope you'll pardon me while I warm up and set the stage for this metaphor of sex. I've not done this in a very long time.
There's that better?
Fuck yeah!
And just look at the confidence as he leaps up and grabs the bar. The genius maneuver.
Oh, I'm fucking sorry. Am I crushing your ass?
No, it's okay. Don't worry. Everything's okay.
Moving up to the handstand now. Notice there's not the slightest tremor of effort.
Ooh la la.
It's all one smooth, seamless flow of motion.
Ah, fuck, I can't seem to get your goddamn pants off.
What? Oh, here, let me do that.
And as he moves into his first set piece, the audience is on the edge of their seats. Believe me, this is absolutely breathtaking.
Oh, Dan.
What the fuck is the matter with you?
Nothing. If you could just lift yourself a little, I could... that's enough. That's great.
The grace of each movement is extraordinary. This is a man in his 40s. Just listen to that crowd as he switched his grip there.
Dan?
It's all fucking right. I just need a couple of minutes for the dick pills to kick in. You know, I drink a little bit too much of that fucking Four Loko. It's a problem many men have. Shut the fuck up!
Spinning through the air against the lights. Just perfect. And he's down. A perfect hecht dismount.
Oh, fuck. Listen here, Laura. It's not a big deal. Maybe if you were about 5 years younger or 20 pounds lighter, this would be working a lot better.
Hey, relax. It's okay. No need to hurl inserts or rush anything. We've got as long as it takes, and don't worry. You're doing fine.
If a picture paints 1,000 words, then how can I paint you? How can I hurl inserts? Thank you very much.
And with the 11 o'clock news coming up next, that's all we have time for. So from me
Gerald Ford, Brent Hanger, and Pale Horses Red to F. It's thank you and good night.
So still nothing?
Listen here, motherfucker. If I had an erection, you'd fucking know it.
Now let's take a break from our midnight movie for this.
Meltdowns with fruity fallout and a delicious molten center. That feels good. They'll blow you all the way to China and in the bathroom.
And that's
of the food line.
It from ABC Tonight. We'll be back tomorrow morning, but until then, take a break, take a nap, and most of all, take care of each other.
Dan? Can you move over a little?
Fuck no.
It doesn't matter. I know how it is when something's not right. We'll sleep now, okay? Just sleep.
So right now, Dan has a very bizarre dream in which he encounters a Twilight lady. They're shedding their clothes. They're ripping their skin apart to reveal Night Owl and Silk Spectre underneath in full costume, followed by a nuclear explosion. It's a metaphor, folks. It is a metaphor for the fact that he can't get an erection unless he's in costume.
And now the naked body of Dan Dryberg wakes up in bed next to Laurie Jupiter. He awakens looking down at his now flaccid 1.5-inch penis. He frowns, heading for the basement.
John? Nick Tack? Did you...
Now Dan is walking around his basement, for some reason wearing a used pair of Becky Lynch goggles.
Dan, where are you? Did you go to the bathroom, or...?
Oh, I'm down here. Down where, you ask? You know what.
Down? Where are you going down there? I woke up and the TV was still on and everything. I mean, it's only 3:15.
God damn it, woman, I ain't stupid. I know what fucking time it is.
Hey, are you okay? I mean, he's upset.
Oh, I just had a dream is all. I was rocking your fucking world, and then a fucking nuclear bomb came out. It was that fucker atom bomb. And Harvey Whippleman just came and blindsided me. Beat my ass down, got a lot of fucking heat. I bladed, made the comeback, motherfucker, and then walked him and threw him out of the river, out of the arena, right into the goddamn river. He was gone. But then everything was gone. You know, it's this goddamn war. It's a feeling. It's unavoidable. It makes me feel so powerless. And in a feeling I've never felt before in my life, impotent.
Oh, Dan.
Now it's not just the war or the face. You know, I'm emotionally turned up right now. I'm ready to go. It's this mass killer thing. I mean, seriously. Blake is dead. Your old boyfriend with the goddamn 18-inch dick is exiled. Adrian's been shot at. My boy Rorschach's been put in the pokey and is probably getting fucked in the ass by any number of people right now. I feel all this goddamn anxiety, this terror bearing down. I came down here for my gimmicks. I don't know. I feel worried, confused. I just need to take to the air, to the top rope, to blow away the cobwebs. Ah, hell. I guess I must look pretty fucking stupid, right? You don't fucking laugh at me. It may be a fucking stupid midlife crisis kind of thing. I don't even know what I was planning to do. Maybe take the ship out or something. Get myself straight. Get my dick back going. Get my mojo back. And then rock your fucking world behind the food line.
So, who's to know?
Who's to know what?
Who's to know? You said it's radar invisible.
Well, yeah, that's fucking true. I did say that, but...
Listen, you get the rest of your suit on while I go get dressed. I used to be a Masked Avenger too, remember? I mean, I'm used to going out at 3 a.m. and doing something fucking stupid.
At this point, Dan begins putting his costume on. Before he does, he makes sure to shake out his flaccid 1.5-inch penis, attempting to make it look a little bit bigger as he puts on his costume, as Laurie reappears in the room. However, his efforts fail and he decides to zip up.
Dan, I'm ready.
Oh, me fucking too. Get your ass on board. Let's go.
Will this thing still fly okay and everything?
Listen here, woman. I was down here earlier working on the shit, and I don't ever do anything wrong. This thing fucking works. I can stand on him, not a feather out of place. Now, let me just plug in my steering column over here, if you know what I mean. Got some soot in his eyes. I wonder whose fucking fault that is.
Oh, We're moving.
Goddamn right we are. He always gives that little lurch when he starts up. From what I understand, it feels kind of good for the women to have, their crotchal run up against the seat with a little friction. Can't seem to iron it out and don't give a fuck about ironing it out, quite frankly. Better wash these windows down before we hit the exit tunnel.
Wow, it's like being on a ghost train. The doors bump open, you enter the tunnel.
Actually, it's a forgotten section of subway. I used to come down here and fuck crack whores after buying the building above. Come on, let's pick up a little speed here.
Is it okay to go this fast? Where does this tunnel come out?
Woman, have you never gone fast in your goddamn life? That's the only way Sex Ferguson does anything. Quick, fast, and to the point. And it comes out a derelict warehouse 2 blocks north. I fucking own that too. I own the whole fucking territory. Let's just hope the steel flood doors over the end of the tunnel have it rusted shut.
Rusted shut? Dan, are you crazy?
Relax your crazy ass. I'm just fucking with you. Alright, in a moment, I'm gonna take him up, if you know what I mean. Just gotta arrange to have some cloud cover with the fog screens.
Fog screens?
Dry fucking ice. Archie breathes smoke, I inhale the fumes and get high as a fucking kite. Alright, hold on tight. I'm rolling back the warehouse roof. Here we go.
And at this point, the Archimedes takes flight, the roof opening up to allow the ship to pass through, like so many pieces of fecal matter passing through an cavity.
Oh, this is fucking great. Remembering which sequences like tackle, drop down, leapfrog, get it a fucking again. It's like the old instincts are imprinted on my fingertips. There's the Astrodome. There's the Greensboro Coliseum. Like a bumper on a giant fucking pinball machine.
Dan, what's that down on our right?
Oh, wait a fucking minute. Let's get a hard camera on that son of a bitch. Tenement building on fire. Kind of like the time I made the roof blow down in Puerto Rico. Looks like some people trapped up there in the upper deck.
Oh, Jesus. I see kids. Can you do anything?
Oh, that's up, so I'm taking him down right now, and I'm talking about a little bit of that brother love.
Out of my way, bitch. I can't breathe.
Oh, God, please save us. We ain't done nothing. Not anything. My baby, he ain't done nothing wrong. Oh, jeez, Lord. Oh, jeez, I'm praying to you now for real this time.
Money.
All right, now calm your old country asses down. I have noticed your predicament. That's right, predicament. You didn't think I knew a word like that, did you? Old Six got a few brain cells going up top still. But anyway, the situation's being attended to, and there's water cannons being trained right at you, including the one right here betwixt my legs. All you people in there, get your ass to the upper deck. We'll be with you in a moment. And I'll extend a ramp, if you know what I mean, from the rear door so we can get everybody over here onto this big, beautiful ship.
If I'm going to be working close to the blaze, I won't need my coat. Well?
Oh, well, the fuck what?
Well, what about the fucking ramps? There's a bunch of people still need their asses hauled out of the fire, remember?
Oh, the fucking ramps. Listen at you. Think you know every goddamn thing. Here's the ramps.
Get back! It's Pope! Something in the building! Oh, my God!
Mom, that guy in the space rocket. Is that Jesus?
Okay, everybody, coming through.
Oh, man, I don't believe this.
So why is she dressed like that? And who just woke up at 4 a.m.?
Hi. If you could all form a line by the window, we'll have you out of here in just a moment. Night Owl, there's an awful lot of people in here.
Oh, no fucking problem. I can make more space by taking the steering column up top and jacking it off right on the roof. Oh, look at these flames. They're coming pretty fast. How's my evacuation? The evacuation coming?
Oh, the usual. Lady, will you go across, please?
Are you with the fire department?
Listen, bitch, I'm Smokey the Bear's secret mistress. Now, will you please just move yourself or throw yourself over the side or something?
Oh, welcome aboard. Please, everybody, just make your asses comfortable, but try not to touch any fucking thing. We'll be serving a little coffee, a little Four Loko, a little booger sugar, and a little steroids here in just a few moments. Has everybody got the fuck out yet?
Here's the last of these assholes. Listen, I don't care about your allergies or your medicine. Just get in the ship, you asshole.
Oh, fine. All right, let's ride. I'll put some music on in the in-ship stereo, specifically my Mid-South entrance theme. Oh, there's a coffee machine behind a panel on the starboard wall. Your dumb ass got it?
Yeah, I got it. How are you doing up there? Don't fall off.
Oh, don't worry about me. I'm doing just fine as usual. All right, we're over the Astrodome now. Everybody please get the fuck off the way they got the fuck on.
Don't touch that. You want to burn down the whole fucking neighborhood?
All right, folks, the goddamn fire department will handle the rest. The fire marshal ought to be here because I packed too many motherfuckers into the building as usual anyway. When your Four Locos finished, head your ass back down to the street and have a good fucking night. You know, I can't believe we just did that shit. They'll probably throw us in the pokey with Rorschach, where Brother Love's the only option.
Who cares? World War III can start tomorrow, am I right?
Oh, that was Billie Holiday. A little, you're my... what the fuck is your problem?
It's okay. I think I caught the title.
And with that, things get a little freaky. As two costumed bodies come together, the flabby, soft body of Night Owl, the waifish body of the other chick. They come together, bodies glistening with meats, fats, and oils. Two sets of bosoms rubbed together in a sensuous manner. And the act of lovemaking commences. An act so vile, so impure that both souls could end up in hell were it not for their heavenly pleasures.
I thought you'd fucking quit smoking, Laurie. Dangerous habits, remember? Like snorting cocaine out of fucking Barry Windham's asshole.
Well, there's no such thing as quitting. Just sometimes there's a longer pause between relapses, am I right? Was tonight good? Did you like it?
God, I hope there's a relapse for me snorting coke out of that beautiful man's butthole. And, of course I fucking liked it. I always like it, and I'm sure your ass liked it as well.
Well, did the costumes make it good? Dan?
Yeah, I fucking guess the costume had something to do with it. Just seeing myself in the mirror there over her shoulder where I could kind of watch my body moving against yours. Really, it was me that did it for me more than you, but, you know, to each their own and whatnot. You know, it kind of just feels strange to come out and admit that to somebody, that I like seeing my own body, that I kind of get off at the sight of my own rock-hard abs and giant 24-inch muscles. You know, to come out of the closet. And once again, I'm just talking about brother love.
So does that feel good?
Oh, God, yeah. God, it feels so fucking good. It feels so confident, like I'm on fire. Like I've got a high of booger, sugar, and Four Locos all over again. And all the mass killers, all the wars in the world, all those fucking dirty motherfuckers that I've wrestled in Greensboro, Baltimore, and Dallas. They're just cases, just problems to solve, and people to pin right in the fucking middle clean with my finish.
You know, you sound real passionate. I didn't know you could smolder. I'd hope tonight might awaken something inside of you, but it sounds like it's awakened with an appetite.
Goddamn right it has. A big fucking appetite as usual. My ass is
Insatiable, huh? Well, I'm open to suggestions. What shall we do next?
Well, the first thing we're going to do is a little ass to mouth. I know some people say you shouldn't do it, but I'm kind of into it myself. Makes me feel good when I degrade a woman. Makes me feel powerful. Anyway, I've been thinking about other things, too, and I think we have certain obligations to that dumb fuck Rorschach. I think we ought to go spring his country ass.
What?
Вы правы, я святых не знал имен, но все же я взывал к тому, чье имя не помянешь в суе. Любой глагол горит о нем, когда я слышу святость в нем, когда он...
And what better place to leave you, ladies and gentlemen, than right there, with a shocking reveal from Lori, from Dan Dryberg, and a response from Lori.
I know, Greg, that anybody who's listening to this has obviously never read the source material, so I'm sure they are stunned by that turn that now they are planning to go spring Rorschach. And what better a place to kick off Volume 3, if and when it ever happens. Remember, without positive feedback, we have no motivation to do this. It's not like we enjoy it or anything. It's not like we're going to do it even if you ask us not to. So unless you give us some positive feedback, this may never happen again. You may never get a resolution to that story. That means those of you who are experiencing this story for the first time may actually have to read a fucking book, which is ridiculous.
Nobody wants to do that. Or watch a movie.
Right.
Or a motion comic. Or an upcoming HBO adaptation.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like there are any other avenues to hear this story other than this one.
And I would like to say, for those of you who have made it this far, thank you for making it through our interesting adaptation here. And we would like to apologize to anyone we may have offended along the way, including but not limited to Jim Ross, Cowboy Bill Watts,
Barry Windham.
Barry Windham, of course. We really picked on Barry Windham for some reason, and he's a Hall of Fame talent, certainly. Any allegations made within these walls were completely made up, except the Vince McMahon ones. And we do genuinely apologize to all these individuals. Also, all the children of the nation.
Indeed, especially those with troubled pasts who we somewhat mocked during 6 of our story.
But with that being said, we welcome all your feedback. We thank all of our PTBN pop brethren who participated in this project. We thank all of them from all walks of life. We've had such good feedback from them, so much involvement from them. And if you guys give us good feedback, or even if you don't, we'll see you again in the future.
Comic book theater, 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 comic book theater.